Alright, hi, hello, welcome, thank you very much for dropping by. Today we are going to try out to discover this otome game. Supposedly this demo supposedly has something like 4 hours of content. So we will see how it goes, what it has to offer. Alright, we're gonna start directly. Over the first two scenes, the game is partially voiced during CGs only.
Just my luck. Why does it have to be pouring now? Oh, I want to go home. I'll be soaked by the time I reach the subway.
I run down the street, holding my bag over my head in a futile attempt to block the rain. I do my best to stay underneath the shop awnings. The cars speeding down the street kick up puddles that shower me in rainwater. I'm ill prepared for such weather. I didn't even take a hoodie with me, let alone an umbrella. The damn cold seeps into my body, making me shiver.
This day sucks.
I'm trying to emulate her voice, but I'm not sure yet. I barely heard 3 lines, so yeah. My boss yelled at me again, and I had to cover for my sick coworker on top of doing my own tasks.
An office job sucks.
I recently graduated from college and got this boring job where all I do is call people to sell them beauty products.
Adult life sucks.
It hadn't taken me long to tire of the monotony of adult life.
I just want to curl up under a blanket and read web novels.
Speaking of which, I got a notification on the web novel app that my favorite book was updated.
Being the heroine of a fantasy romance novel would be such an amazing life. Fighting to save a kingdom from impending doom, wielding magical powers, and falling in love with a hottie.
Yeah, but this is not adult. This is I just started to how do you call it? I can no longer be a kid, but I'm not ready to be an adult. I should take a look at the app. I pull out my phone and unlock it. I open the app, looking at all the updates.
I've got so much to read on the subway.
Looking forward to my next story, I run through the crosswalk.
What?
Raccoon is coming! By the time I look up to see the light was actually red, not green, it's too late. I'm in the middle of a crosswalk with a truck driving straight at me. It really was a truck! Raccoon strikes again! Should I take a step back or run forward? Quick! Think, Celine! I take a step back. It hurts! The pain, it's excruciating. My whole body hurts so much. Until I suddenly stop feeling anything anymore. The absence of pain brings me relief. I let my life go. Everything always starts with a death. Well, death is just the beginning, would say Imhotep. The music. The next thing I know, I'm floating in a cotton-like substance. I feel comforted, safe even. Have I really died? Am I in heaven now? But I wanted to read the last chapter of my favorite author's new web novel. Now I'll never find out what happens to the heroine in the end. A chuckle escapes me, a loud sound in this quiet place. I'm pathetic, aren't I? I died, and now I'm just thinking of my hobbies, not my parents or my friends. Not that I had a great relationship with anybody anyway. I was quite a loner. What is that sound? That's a game notification sound. In the emptiness, I can hear someone singing. An angelic voice. It's calling to me.
You must fight on.
I must? But I'm dead. I don't have to do anything. Suddenly, I feel a pull. My soul gets grabbed and yanked towards a golden whirlpool. I scream, but no sound comes out of my mouth. I close my eyes, the shifting reality around me, making me feel dizzy. When my senses return to me, the first thing I notice is the fresh scent of a forest. I open my eyes and look around. I'm in the middle of a woods. Lush canopies of trees above me sway gently in a light breeze. There's something heavy in my hand, and when I look down, I see that I'm holding a simple hunting bow. My feet, clad in riding boots, sink into the damp green moss of a forest floor. Oh, so she knows what riding boots are. I'm not hunting, I realize. Wait, how is this possible? I just died, and it's been ages since I handled a bow. So she knows how to handle a bow. The last time I practiced archery was in middle school, back when my parents could still afford to spoil me. I also hadn't put on such high boots today for work, or these fancy pants, or this jacket. The outfit looks almost like it belongs in a Korean webcomic.
Who am I?
Celeste? Where are you, Celeste?
Somehow, I suddenly realize I'm supposed to be hiding. Hiding from what or whom I don't understand. Ooh. The music is suddenly very loud. Okay, so first thing is no font choice display. Wait, audio. BGM is too freaking loud. Wait. The balance is not right, people. Okay. I feel like even the SFX was very loud too. Menu volume. I don't know. We'll keep the voice like this because the voices are much lower. There. The sound design is not very tight. The sound volume is not very tight. Hiding from what or whom? I don't understand. I only know I must seek cover. The urge to disappear from sight is so strong that I don't even question it. I find a thicket of bushes and dive into them, not caring that my outfit will get dirty and torn. From my hiding spot, I observe the situation, holding my breath. A handsome man with red hair tied back in a ponytail runs towards me. He's wearing some sort of fantasy armor, and he has two thin swords on his hips. I recognize this person. This man is my knight. Levi Perrin, maybe. I don't know how to pronounce this. Wait, I don't have a knight. I'm Celine. I'm a 21-year-old simple office. 21-year-old. Yeah. Definitely. Simple office worker, fresh out of college with a job in sales. Is that really the whole truth, though? Levi turns left and right, searching for me.
Celeste? Please, come out!
Failing to discover me, he runs off. I recognize this guy's looks from somewhere, and the name Celeste is familiar too. No, I couldn't have. Did I get reincarnated? Here! Out of all the books or games that could have been the setting for my reincarnation, why did I have to end up in the BL tragic fantasy web novel? Why this one? It's a BL tragic fantasy. Ow! Saint of a Golden Bow is the work's name. It was recently adapted as a webcomic. That's how popular it had become. The book used to be one of my favorites, but the world of this story is not a nice place to live. There's a war going on with a demon queen. And Celeste? Why did I have to be reincarnated as her? What I just witnessed was the opening scene of a book. Before Levi is chosen to become the titular saint, he goes out hunting with his unrequited love, the lady he's serving. He's supposed to protect Celeste, but he loses sight of her at some point, and an ungodly sound makes the hairs on my skin stand up. Well, it doesn't look very dangerous, though. The creature that made the sound appears to my right. It's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Is that? Okay. You must have seen a ton of beautiful things then. This does not look ugly to me. An abomination. A demon. The imp's leathery wings flap in the air. It almost has a cute side to it. Not almost. It's kind of cute. The imp's leathery wings flap in the air. Then the creature flies towards me. It has spotted me. It was so worse in the bus. Also, welcome, man. This is the moment when Celeste the Querist dies a miserable death to become part of Levi's tragic backstory. But I just died from being hit by a truck. I don't want to die again. Especially not in a scripted event where I'm supposed to just fade away so I can serve as a part of someone else's tragedy. Not doing anything to save myself is not like me at all. I mean, you kind of just stayed there and let truck couldn't kill you, though. Hello, Kevin, welcome. Thank you very much for jumping by. The imp is still far enough away for me to attempt to save my life. I have to act quickly. The monstrosity is coming closer and closer. My hands are sweaty and my arms are shaking.
I refuse to give up.
Shoot the demon with a bow. Call for Levi's help as loud as you can. Ha! Levi might be far away now, but she has not been handling a bow for a while. I mean, isn't he gonna hear the screech though? Maybe we should just shoot. Fire and hi, hello, welcome. Thank you very much for jumping by. In my hands, I hold the key to my salvation. I pull out an arrow, draw back, and aim at the imp that's flying straight at me. I take a breath and release it, remembering what I was taught in middle school about archery. When I'm sure of my shots and know I can delay any longer, I send the arrow flying. The arrow hits the demon straight in its ugly little head. You really insist on it being ugly, huh? Wait, I think I'm gonna lower the music even more. It's super loud. Fair. No, it's better. With a final threatening sound, the monstrosity falls to the ground. I breathe heavily, collapsing to my knees.
I did it!
I thump my bald up fist against the ground, feeling the damp moss beneath my fingers. I breathe deeply again, taking in the smells of a gorgeous forest. I can't speak. They calm me down.
I'm alive.
Tears rolled down my cheeks. I was terrified, but I survived.
Celeste!
Levi comes running towards me. When he sees the imp dead a few steps away from me, and the bow still grasped in my hands, a gasp of surprise escapes his lips.
Celeste! What happened? Did you kill this demon by yourself?
I nod, for a moment in the thought that I'm indeed Celeste, not Celine. I open my mouth to explain the explanation. I open my mouth to explain the situation, but my voice sounds raw and shaky.
I killed the demon.
I finally manage to whisper. Levi walks up to me and kneels down before me.
My lady, can you walk?
I give his questions some thought, but I feel so weak. I wipe my tears away.
I don't think so.
I'll carry you.
No, there's no need for...
Well, you said you couldn't walk, so yeah. Levi takes me in his arms, bridal style. The bow slips from between my fingers. Our close proximity is so embarrassing. I want to hide my face, but I can only do so against his chest, an option which is less than ideal.
My bow.
Don't worry about the weapon. I will return for your bow later. Right now, it's of utmost importance that I carry you back to the safety of the mansion.
But it's...
I still protest. Levi gives me a glare.
No buts. Let me do my job, for once.
I let out a long sigh and stop resisting. Levi walks toward where we left our horses, or so my memory, as Celeste recalls. So I really am Celeste now? I'm part of a world of a saint of a golden bow, even though I was supposed to die. So what will my survival mean for the story now? Ah, no more voicing? Okay, what kind of voice? Oh, what's that, my lady? After an awkward bath where I had to let my maid Linda wash me, I'm finally dressed in a nightgown and allowed to rest. My body feels weak. The shock of dying, reincarnating, then almost dying again finally taking a toll on me. A loud yawn escapes my lips. I cover my mouth. I'm going to lie down. Is there anything else you need from me? Ah, I forgot I'm supposed to formally dismiss Linda whenever I want to be alone. She's Celeste's servant, after all. I'm good for now. I'll call for you later if I need anything. All right, my lady. Linda curtsies before me and then she exits the room. I sink into the softness of a mattress, taking a good look around the room. This place has an undeniably expensive, polished, fancy look. Somebody has tried very hard to make the atmosphere more feminine, and I know it wasn't Celeste. The Celeste the book mentions is quite the tomboy, caring little for girly things like dolls and decorations. She doesn't have good social skills, she lacks proper knowledge of etiquette, and she dances like an elephant. A dancing elephant? That must be something quite interesting. Well, instead, she's great at archery, hunting, and riding horses. However, this society deems all of those activities inappropriate for a lady, and thus she doesn't have many friends. Sounds so much like me in my past life. The only two people who really like Celeste are Levi, who, for some reason that isn't really explained in a book, adores his lady, and... another character, okay. Celeste, are you alright? Celeste's twin sister, Eurydice. The book also briefly mentions Eurydice as part of Levi's backstory, simply describing her as the more ladylike twin who loves pink and romance novels. I feel Celeste's emotions for Eurydice in my heart, though. Celeste really cherishes her sister. Celeste? Eurydice notices that I'm staring at her with a faint smile on my face. I'm alright. Thanks for worrying about me. She rushes over to my bed, fixing the pillow under my head and helping me sit up. Well, of course I'm worried about you. You're my beloved sister. What would I do if I lost you? I'm fine. I've been through worse. Does not sound very reassuring. Look at her. She's all ladylike and delicate. No, let's just say Levi was with me. Levi was with me. Nothing bad could have happened to me under his protection. You think I don't know how you always run off from Levi during your hunts? Making excuses that you have to be alone because he's stomping too loud, scaring your prey off? Busted. I know that it's exactly what Celeste has always done. I take a glance at Celeste's memories. wondering if she ever realized Levi was in love with her and if running off was her way of trying to avoid the awkwardness of his puppy-like adoration. I feel a touch of awkwardness, unsure of how to deal with the way Levi has always viewed her. The situation wasn't comfortable for Celeste at all. I push her feelings aside to focus on my conversation with Eurydice. You got me. Did you split from Levi this time too, sister? I did. Figures. Eurydice lets out an annoyed sigh. I give her a wide smile, enjoying our conversation despite her chastising me. I really like having a friend whom I can talk to freely. I really would like to know what happened today, though. Levi babbled something about a demon? Oh, I'd like to know more too, for the matter. Father walks into the room without knocking or otherwise warning us of his presence. He has a stern look on his face, but that's just his usual expression. Hey Minja! Thanks for dropping by. The joy I felt at talking to Eurydice momentarily evaporates. New emotions from Celeste surface in my heart. Her father has always made her feel lesser, inadequate. I review her memories of him and curse inwardly. To say her father favors Eurydice would not all capture the severe inequality of the situation. During some of their past interactions, he has been outright abusive, belittling Celeste and calling her names. I stiffen my spine, sitting up straight. I took so much shit as Celine and I'm not going to do it again as Celeste. What happened today that's left you so disheveled? I look down at myself. The only blemish in my appearance is a scratch on my knee from when I hid in the bushes. The mark is so small that I didn't even notice it while bathing. Otherwise, I'm wearing a fresh nightgown and all cleaned up. There's nothing disheveled about me. I give Father a defiant look. As you can see, I'm fine. Thank you for asking. Father huffs. You and your sister's 18th birthday is in 3 days. We're leaving for the capital the day after tomorrow. If you're not healed up and in top form by then, I'll be up and running by tomorrow. My body feels tired and heavy, but it's nothing a bit of sleep can't fix. I see Eurydice scoot slightly to the left, as if taking a step away from Father's negative energy. You'd better be. I don't want you to ruin the golden ball ceremony for your sister. You're forbidden to leave the mansion for the next 3 days. I open my mouth to tell him off, but my eyes land on Eurydice. She shakes her head slightly. Wait. But if she's forbidden to leave in 3 days, that means she can't leave for the for the... What? We're leaving for the capital the day after tomorrow. And then he says, you're forbidden to leave the mansion for the next 3 days. That means she's not coming then? To honor her wishes, I decide not to agitate Father any further. Alright. I nod. I don't feel like going hunting or horseback riding. Ah my god. We're never gonna be going through it. It's so slow reading stuff aloud. My god. I nod. I don't feel like going hunting or horseback riding anyway. Someone would quickly notice that I'm not as good as at those activities as Celeste should be. I'm still not sure how much of her skills I can access for myself. Levi set me in front of himself on his horse to return us to the mansion earlier, so I have no idea if I actually know how to ride a horse myself. I only rode a horse once or twice as Celine when I was a kid, not nearly enough to match Celeste's experience. Now, tell me what happened. I killed a demon. Both Father and Eurydice let out gasps of surprise. You what? Levi said you two had an encounter with a demon, but I assumed he was the one to kill it. I shake my head and smile. I shot an imp with my bow. What was such a monstrosity doing in the middle of Lokari Empire lands? We're far from the war front. The imp was conveniently there to kill Celeste for Levi's tragic backstory. I want to tell the truth, but of course I won't. Father and Eurydice would take me for a mad woman if I babble about them being characters from a novel. I don't know, but the monster attacked me, so I killed it. I shrug, like my actions were nothing out of the ordinary. After all, in the face of danger, it's kill or be killed. Father sits down on a chair next to the entrance of my room and hides his face in his hands. I knew my daughter wasn't much of a noble lady, but this... He mumbles loudly enough for both Eurydice and I to hear him. My sister and I share a smile. Where was your knight when the demon attacked you? I should choose my words carefully. I don't want Levi to take the blame for my actions. I ran off on him again. I wanted to hunt on my own. Of course. He lets out a long sigh, like I'm burdening him more than he can bear. My body takes this moment to remind me how tired I am. A big yawn escapes my lips. I cover my mouth with my hand. Rest. Father gets up and gestures for Eurydice to leave. Eurydice nods and walks behind him out of the room. She turns back to me when she's in my doorway and gives me a warm smile. Get some rest. I'll be back later. I return her smile and sink more deeply into the bed, making myself comfortable. It doesn't take long for me to fall into dreamless slumber. When I wake up again, the rays of morning sun pour into my room. I get out of the bed and stretch to make sure my body's working properly. I feel refreshed after my long sleep. No more weakness in my limbs. Everything's in order again. I walk to the desk and sit down. I take a fresh sheet of paper. I hesitate when I realize there's only a quill for writing, but I won't be stopped. I produce a few scratchy letters. My handwriting looks terrible. It seems I can't directly access Celeste's skills after all. That's quite inconvenient. I can manage to write with a quill, but not very well, and only in English, of course. I have to write down everything I know about the web novel Scent of a Golden Bough, so I can organize my knowledge of the world and line it up with Celeste's memories. Scratchy handwriting or not, I need to sort out all my assets. Let's start with the basics. Scent of a Golden Bough is a romantic tragedy fantasy web novel by the Korean web novelist Hanul Kim. I don't know. I read the English translation on one of my favorite web novel and comic apps. The story was supposed to be turned into a webcomic and had promo art, which is how I was able to recognize Levi immediately. Why are we giving these... Why... That's not important. The events, that's what's important. We don't need that kind of background. His design in the artwork even had him in the same outfit he was wearing on the day of a demon attack. Maybe I should also write down... Ah, no, nothing else. I got the basics, that's enough. That's not even the basics. If you want to give the basics about the story, you get the premise, not what kind of format it was published in. I get up for a moment and wander over to the mirror. I touch a hand to the glass. The design of Celeste wasn't included in the promo art. I take in my new features: purple hair and pink eyes, a slender figure. There's no denying it, I'm really not Celine anymore. The understanding that I have reincarnated into the novel finally settles in my mind. I feel calm, calmer than I ever thought I would be if something out of a novel suddenly changed the course of my life. There's no fighting the reality, is there? As strange as this situation is, I'm Celeste and I have her memories. But somehow I'm Celine as well, equipped with knowledge of his world that Celeste never had. I walk back to the desk and sit down to continue organizing my thoughts. Maybe, after I process everything, I will break down and cry about my fate. Right now, however, I don't feel like moping around. Instead, I want to fight for a better fate. Back to Saint of a Golden Bough. The book starts with Celeste's death event. Levi was in love with his lady for years, but the actual love interest of the story is Prince Noah. Celeste has to die at the beginning of a book to make Levi feel at his lowest when the Golden Bough chooses him as the saint. Why didn't Celeste save herself if she was said to be so great at archery? It was possible for me to use my mediocre skills to defeat the demon. Must be book logic. She had to die for the story in the Saint of the Golden Bough to proceed the way it did. That's why you don't question... That's part of the, suspension of disbelief. The premise of a book. It's the kind of fact that you just, okay, you accept. We start with this. Otherwise, it will never stand up. Soon after Celeste's death, Levi's quest to save the Lokari Empire from the Demon Queen begins. However, he doesn't go alone. Noah, as well as High Priest Elijah, the second love interest, both accompany him on the journey. Noah and Levi fall in love. Elijah falls in love with Levi too, but Levi chooses Noah. And when the final confrontation with the Demon Queen happens, the love Noah and Levi share is an important component of defeating the Fiend. Ah, it's the power of love. Through their love, the magic of a weapon becomes stronger. However, this story is a tragic one. Even though Levi defeats the Demon Queen, he perishes in the process. Oh. Noah and Elijah live on, and peace returns to the Lokari Empire. I remember crying at the end of the book and cursing the author for writing such a beautiful yet heart-wrenching tale. I've reread the novel twice. Saint of a Golden Bough is really one of my favorite stories. I usually just avoid anything that has tragedy, the tragedy tag in it. I still don't appreciate being reincarnated into this world though, especially not as Celeste, whose only purpose in the story is to add angst to Levi's life. I didn't die when I was supposed to though, and now the story has continued regardless. But it's really something I find really funny in these reincarnated stories, like for all intents and purposes, this is your reality now. It doesn't matter that it used to be a story in a book. They all are so freaking hung out on the story went like this, so I changed this, so what is happening? The story is still continuing. Of course! Life is gonna continue whether or not you make certain choices. Like, come on! I wonder how many things will change now because Celeste is alive. Will Levi still be able to fall in love with Noah, despite the fact that I'm still here? He seems pretty hung up on Celeste after all. Well, if you want him to fall in love with the other, you gotta cut clean. Make a clean cut so he can move on. I look into Celeste's memories to examine her feelings about Levi. I sense a mixture of emotions. Anger, awkwardness, desperation. Eh? Awkwardness I could understand if she doesn't return his feelings. Why anger though? And why desperation? Celeste didn't like to be on the receiving end of Levi's feelings. She badly wanted him to stop looking at her with romantic intentions. What Celeste really needed was to have a friend in him, not a lover. As a noble lady, she especially found his feelings for her inappropriate. Blah. She even tried to set him up with other people of various genders who were in his station. Levi always admitted they were attractive whenever she asked, but he never expressed any romantic interest. Celeste was the only one for him. Levi's responses frustrated Celeste to the point that she tried her best to get away from him, which ultimately led to her death. What a sad relationship. Yeah, kind of pathetic, yeah. I can't quite hate Celeste for being cold to Levi, now that I know her distress about his love for her. But at the same time, I do pity Levi. If Levi was this obsessed with Celeste, how had he moved on to Noah so quickly? Because he was emotionally vulnerable? That happens. A lot. A lot. His change of heart wasn't really explained in the novel. And I remember some people voicing their opinions on the forums about how unrealistic this plot point was. Ah, come on, people. People! Come on! How is that even that far-fetched? Now, we're not saying that necessarily they were super in love or what. Oh, although the book seems to use that as a plot point, but... Oh my god. Leave a beat. Grab a tiny bit of experience. My lord. How is that even that far-fetched? My lord. Is that really what you're gonna question? Oh. Otome games, are they all moving on a slow pace? It depends. It really depends. Not all otome games are made equal. Some are really good, others are... Well, the people that made them are not necessarily very good at writing. I've played quite a few and not all are equal at all. Just like any story, just like any media, really. I had always ignored those complaints because I really adored the Noah and Levi relationship. Celeste would surely have disapproved of it though, considering the boys had vastly different positions in society. I don't get that. She isn't ladylike, so that means she is not fitting within the norms of a society, to begin with. So why is she so adamant about that? That's just hypocritical. But the forbidden aspect of their romance was what had made everything more exciting to me as a modern reader. Oh, I really want my ship to sail and for the boys to get together, but I don't know if that outcome is possible with Celeste still being alive. Levi was clearly at least bisexual, judging from his response to the romantic candidates less... I read too slowly when I read aloud. Levi was clearly at least bisexual, judging from his response to the romantic candidates Celeste had presented to him, but that fact didn't matter if he was unwilling to consider any other lovers. Maybe he would still change his mind if he met Noah. Maybe it would be greater love, one established at first sight. I'm not sure I see what I'm not sure I understand what... A greater love because it's established at first sight? Or the two facts are separated? I think I have a hard time with the writing of this so far. If Levi and Noah don't fall in love at the end of the quest, will Levi still be able to defeat the Demon Queen? I shudder. What if I've broken this story beyond repair by avoiding my demise? What was I supposed to do, though? Just die? You like the idea of MC being a wingman instead of a main love interest? In that case, this would not be an otome. Otome games are it's the genre itself is romance first. Of course, you can have otome games with friendship roots, but yeah, it could be a visual novel without being an otome game in that sense. It's the because otome is the maiden, the young woman. And we take it as, oh, the young woman's heart yearns for romance, you know, so that's why it's mostly romance, I guess. And then the other end of the spectrum is galgame. Galgames, it's where you romance. It's mostly to romance girls, mostly from the point of view of like heterosexual boys more interested in girls, I believe. That's so not like me. I'm a fighter. Maybe I can change the story even further so that Levi can still survive the final encounter. I have no idea how to make this plan work, but maybe opportunities to influence the world further will present themselves to me. After all, though the thought is chilling, what's happening here isn't just a web novel story. Saint of a Golden Bough is my new reality. Ah! There are so many isekai stories where that is like never, the VMC never acknowledges that, but they're always so focused on, oh, the story goes like this, the story goes like this, and they change stuff around them, and they're like, oh, why are things changing? Of course you do this! You change stuff! On the day of Celeste and Eurydice's 18th birthday, Father takes us to the capital to attend the Golden Bough ceremony. So, he took her to the capital, but still told her she was not supposed to leave the mansion. Am I just not good at counting days? When you say the day after tomorrow, that means it's tomorrow is day 1, and the day after tomorrow is the second day. That doesn't add up. That doesn't add up. Hello, Christian. Welcome. Thank you very much for dropping by. I am glad if you like the stream. Levi had his 18th birthday a few days ago as well. Since he is of lower standing than the Count's family, Father got the approval of the church for Levi to attend our ceremony together with us instead of his own a few days earlier. Your knight has to guard you at all times, Father had said to Celeste before I reincarnated into her body. After the encounter with the imp, he's become even more convinced that Levi shouldn't leave my side. Not that Levi is complaining about having to stick close to me, for obvious reasons. Now, Eurydice, Levi, and I stand in the middle of a chapel in the royal palace in Solus, Lokari Empire's capital. Behind us are the many other people who will be tested. Before us, the high priest Elijah Soren takes a spot behind the titular golden bough, the fabled artifact that will choose the saint one day. It's a very young high priest. Of course. The love interests always have to be to have some interesting positions. A great classic is the crown prince. You have the high priest, like everyone of high standing, the Duke of the North. And then you have the rogue, they always have a wide variety, but it's always they're always unrealistically attractive because, yeah, if you're gonna go after someone, they have to be. You were gonna say it's impressive, someone being a knight before turning 18. But then again, we don't know what kind of setup the society in this really has. Usually this has some kind of medieval adjacent kind of stuff. In which case, I'd say that's not necessarily that. But then again, yeah, a knight though. He's not a page, he's a knight. They have to be impressive. every love interest has to be impressive. And I understand. At some point I was like, why is everyone so attractive and everyone is so pretty and everyone has... But then I read a story where the VMC was super plain looking, and it was boring. It's boring because you're gonna look at them for a while, for a long while, for as long as the story goes. Yeah, the characters need to be interesting, not necessarily pretty, but at least interesting, so as to keep your interest, so as to keep you engaged. Maybe 17 is modern days 35. Yeah, who knows? Maybe. In which case, their father must be really venerable. I know that day will be today, since Levi is the one who will be chosen. I eyed the bow with suspicion. We all know what's gonna happen, because it's the MC, right? Light reflects off its gold-covered surface. The design is pretty and elaborate. You Everything is very classic in the story so far, so you know who is gonna be chosen as a saint. Looks like a pain in the ass to use as a weapon. Too ornamental for my taste. At least it's pretty. Yeah.
We are all gathered here today to see if the golden bow, the weapon given to us by our Lord to help us one day defeat the vile demon queen, will finally choose its saint. On this beautiful morning, when the sun's rays fall through the windows of our chapel, let us give our gratitude to the Lord. He has given us means to end the war that has been raging for so many decades.
Handy that it's a bow as well, the one weapon we know how to use, right? I've never been particularly religious, even in my past life. I especially don't believe in a fantasy god, but...
Let us give our gratitude.
Oh! Listen! I absolutely gave her the right kind of voice! Yeah, she definitely had that kind of design. Oh, I was spot on.
Let us give our gratitude.
When Eurydice and Levi bow their heads and say the words of a prayer, along with all the other people in the hall, I mumble the words as well.
Let us give our gratitude.
I don't want to draw suspicion to myself, after all. You could have said it in a more convincing way instead of being so sarcastic, though.
20 years ago, the blessed blacksmith was bestowed with the Lord's inspiration and crafted the golden bow. He worked tirelessly day and night until finally he completed the artifact. Ever since then, the people of the Lokari Empire have sought to be tested on the day of their 18th birthday by the golden bow. The artifact will choose its wielder. That person will become the saint and be tasked with defeating the demon queen who has terrorized our borders for 23 years.
Oh, it's not been that long then. I thought it would probably be something like a few hundred years or something like that usually. Oh, but what, 23 years? What's 23 years? I'm glad Elijah reminds us of the history of a bow. I've forgotten some of the details.
I will now call forth today's attendees to be tested. Each of you just needs to touch the golden bow once, and its judgment will be bestowed on you.
Time is compressed. Elijah takes out a sheet of paper and reads the first name from the list. That bar must weigh a ton if it's real gold. Alright! But then again, if it is a holy weapon, it can't be cheap ass, so... Oh god. Oh. Eurydice the Querist, daughter of Count de Querist. Eurydice approaches the bar. She puts her hand on the artifact. Nothing happens. Of course, what else did I expect? Levi is the saint. The golden bar will only glow for him. A frown appears on the high priest's brow as he reads the next name. Celeste de Querist, daughter of Count de Querist. Why is he frowning? Was he aware of the story? Is he a reincarnated one too? Or did he have like a prophecy that was saying she was gonna die? I take a deep breath and step onto the podium, Reminding myself I shouldn't expect anything, I put my hand on the weapon. So you are still expecting stuff. For a moment, nothing happens. But then, the bow glows, its light getting brighter and brighter with each second. The light feels scorching hot. I close my eyes, worrying I'll go blind if I don't. You must fight on. I think it was like that. I hear the angelic voice again. Was the bow the one speaking to me when I reincarnated? Or was it the god of light himself? The thought that I may have been addressed by a deity is frightening. No, gods aren't real. You're not religious, silly. This is such a funny thing. Whether you're religious or not, if there are gods, you will not have any effect on that. It's not because you don't believe in it that it ceases existing. It's not because you don't believe the sun is there that it will stop shining. Like, come on. The golden bow. The burning light makes my skin feel like it's on fire. So I take my hand away from the bow. Yeah, everything is very classic so far. You would believe a lot of things if you were suddenly reincarnating in a fantasy world, right? You'd think at some point you're like, oh, that might as well happen. But my hand continues burning, the searing pain climbing up my arm to my chest. So what is the bow gonna be surgically attached to what? Ah! I scream. I'm sorry. The scream was not very convincing, but my head is spinning. The pain is too much for me to handle. I want it to stop. Stop! I'm on fire! I'm dying! Not again! Lady Celeste! Sister! Levi and Eurydice are calling to me, but I don't have the strength to respond. I have a question. Do people actually... Do English-speaking people actually call their siblings sister or brother? I thought you'd probably just use their name. My consciousness fades, darkness taking me into its comforting embrace. I feel so groggy. I'm in the guest room of the apartment that was assigned to our family when we first arrived at the palace for the ceremony. You don't think they do? I thought they didn't, so it always kind of feels unnatural to me when I see someone in a story saying that. But wait, so she was saying she can only write English, of course. What language are the people in the world speaking, actually? Or are we to assume, because it was a Korean web novel, they would be speaking more like Korean? So, yeah, sister, makes sense. Fantasy needs. It's also, I don't think I've seen that many stories in which the reincarnated MC doesn't speak the language. As in, they always conveniently speak it or are given some kind of blessing to speak it. Because it's an interesting part where they have to like communicate with the others without knowing the language, so there's an extra layer of difficulty adapting. The impersonal decor makes the place feel cold and unwelcoming. But I guess it doesn't apply because we are reincarnated, so that as in they take over a body of a person that was already living the life there. But I mean someone who actually gets their body transported there That kind. But yeah, if you reincarnate into a character that already existed in the world, I guess it makes sense since she's able to like access the memories to a certain extent. Is time really compressed? No. Anne was just saying stuff as always. The impersonal decor makes the place feel cold and unwelcoming. I know the room is supposed to look grand and elegant, but I don't feel at home here at all. Lady Celeste can be the Saintess of a Golden Bow. The role is too dangerous for her. I turn my head to the left. Levi and Eurydice stand by the door. Neither of them notice I'm awake. Just imagining her going on the dangerous quest to defeat the Demon Queen makes me terrified for her life. We have to stop the church and the Empress from declaring her to be the Saintess. Levi, it's not for us to decide who the Saintess is. Neither is it the choice of a church or the Empress. It's the God of Light who singled out Celeste to be the savior of our empire. This must be some kind of mistake. Levi, you're committing blasphemy here. You can't go against God's wishes. But Lady Celeste is... Look, I know you're worried for my sister, but please, mind your words. If someone other than me hears your opinion about God's choice, you may get in trouble. So, I really am the Saintess of a Golden Bow? I speak up, not believing my own words. Levi and Eurydice turn to me. Eurydice runs up to the bed and takes my hand in hers. Celeste, you're awake. How are you feeling? Fine, I think. Just a bit tired. You really scared us in the chapel. You screamed like someone was tearing you apart. The light of a bow entering my body felt like it was burning me. That sounds horrible. Tears well up in Eurydice's eyes. Oh, she's so delicate. I squeeze her hand, trying to comfort her. She's so classically delicate. I glance behind her to where Levi still stands by the door. He has a defeated look on his face. When he notices me watching him, he finally approaches the bed, standing behind Eurydice. I can't be the Saintess. It was supposed to... I cut myself off when I realized I almost just said that Levi was supposed to be chosen as the saint. I can tell them what happens in the book. They don't even know why they live in... they don't even know they live in a fictional world. For some inexplicable reason, the Golden Bow of the God of Light himself has chosen me instead as the savior of the Lokari Empire. It's a funny thing. Like she insists on saying this is a fictional world. Maybe it's not. Maybe the writer of the world received some kind of divination for you to use when you get reincarnated, you know? You insist on it being a fictional world, but you're in that world right now. It's not fictional anymore. Alright, thanks for dropping by, Kevin. For some inexplicable reason, the Golden Bow of the God of Light himself has chosen me instead as the savior of the Lokari Empire. Why me? Because you have some knowledge of how things are gonna go? You have some cheat codes? You have some spoilers? I ponder out loud. I'm so confused. I don't want to be the Saintess. Why has the story suddenly changed so much? Or maybe after she died in the original story, Levi killed that imp, but because you killed it, you became the Saintess. Why has the story suddenly changed so much? I only did my best to survive. Did the fact that I wasn't slain by the demon really create such a severe butterfly effect? Or Had I already been chosen at the moment of my reincarnation? I remember the angelic voice of a bow sounding just like the voice I had heard after dying in the accident as Celine. I'm sure you'll do fine. You're excellent at archery. Eurydice smiled through her tears, trying to reassure me. I'm not as confident about my fighting skills as Eurydice is. Celeste may have been good at the bow, but I can't access her full abilities. Judging by my handwriting, I can only manage the bare minimum of what she could do. I'm not proficient in any of her skills. Gotta train then. I only know how to use the bow somewhat from my experience as Celine in middle school. Oh, this whole situation is so depressing. But wouldn't you prefer being alive? No, I mustn't lose heart. I have to stay strong and face my fate head on. What's going to happen to me now? The Empress has summoned you for an audience 3 hours from now. What does the Empress want with me? Eurydice wipes her tears away. She didn't say, but we think she intends to personally congratulate you on your new role. Alright, I suppose I should start getting ready then. First, High Priest Elijah requested to check on you as soon as you woke up. Check on me? With his light magic, he wants to see if your body and mind are alright after being touched by God's grace. I'm feeling okay, but I suppose I shouldn't turn away a member of a church. Not complying with her wishes might be dangerous now that I'm somewhat part of her organization. The reality is so overwhelming that I would really prefer to be alone now, but there's no time for me to mule over what has happened. The chance to break down will come later, after everyone goes to sleep. Okay, you can tell the High Priest I will see him. I'll go bring him here. Levi turns around and walks out of a room in long strides. Why? Where is your father? Should he be very happy about the fact that his daughter is gonna become the savior of a kingdom? Isn't that gonna bring him a lot of glory? Eurydice gives me a comforting smile. Everything's going to be okay. I hope so too. Silence falls between us, but it's a cozy, warm kind of quiet. I get the feeling that, no matter what happens, Eurydice will support me. I envy Celeste for having such a great sister and friend. I should use this opportunity to ask Eurydice some questions about my situation. I'll just have to be careful about how I approach the topics. I don't want to reveal my jumbled knowledge about the world. How long has the Empire waited for the Saintess? I mean, if the Demon Queen was 23 years ago, around that time, I get that amount of time. What do we know about the Demon Queen? What does it mean to have a role of a Saintess? You're supposed to kill the Demon Queen. What do we know about the Demon Queen? The people who have seen her say she looks like a beautiful woman, except she also has horns, a tail, and a third eye on her forehead. Oh, okay. But she's far from human. She's cruel and dangerous. Ah, so human. She kills humans without mercy. Ah, so human. She commands an army of demons, vile monstrosities. Could be human too. You saw one. Was it as ugly as they say? No, it was not. The imp wasn't pretty, that's for sure. The war has been going on for 23 years now. Over that time, 1/3 of Lokari Empire's lands to the east have been ravaged by war and infiltrated by demons. They leave only ruins behind when they take over a town. Their fire is said to be ever burning. Huh. How does that work though? Does it burn on nothing? They're really hung up on the looks of that one demon, right? But it was really pretty. Well, no, maybe not really pretty, but like, it was not I would not say it was ugly. The artist, I think the artist does not know how to make ugly stuff. It was pretty. And I mean that as a compliment, of course. Although you could take that as... I mean that as a compliment if the artist is faced by some weird coincidence. Looks like a pop punk singer. I don't know what that means, but to me it was not ugly. You'll have to travel east to defeat the Demon Queen. She's taken up residence in the Claremont Castle. It used to be the seat of Duke Claremont and his family, but they had to abandon their homeland to the demons 10 years ago. Ah! There's a Duke! There's the Duke! That's a very classic love interest. That news doesn't make me want to go to the border at all. It'll be like walking straight into the maws of the enemy. I fear you won't have a choice in the matter. The Empress decreed long ago that once the Saint or Saintess was found, they would immediately embark on the quest to defeat the Demon Queen with a party of the most capable fighters. The quest, huh? Sounds like a story from a role-playing game. Not that I expect anything else from this book world. Levi went on this quest as a saint, after all. I just hope you won't have to leave too soon. I think I'll need some time to learn to wield the golden bow and to accept the whole situation. I'm sure the Empress will understand. Yeah, let's move on. Those are all the questions I have for now, at least. Thank you for helping me sort through everything, sister. Eurydice gives me a bright smile. That's what I'm here for. One thing's certain. The people of the Lokari Empire have been waiting for the Saintess for ages. A lot of faith will be put into your abilities. A lot will be expected from you. I don't envy you. If I could, I would share this burden with you. Thank you. I'm really moved by Eurydice's dedication to me. There's a knock on the door, then Levi's voice can be heard from the other side. High Priest Elijah and Count Dequeris have arrived. They can enter. Ah, she looks even younger like this. Elijah comes into the room, followed by Father. Levi closes the door behind them, remaining in the living room of our apartment to guard the entrance. The High Priest bears a friendly smile. Father, on the other hand, wears his usual scowl on his face. He seems like he wants to say something. I give him an inquiring look, which is met with a glare. Oi! Shouldn't you be happy? I'm sure we're gonna receive a lot of monetary compensation. Shouldn't we? I don't know if I should laugh or cry at the fact that his disposition towards Celeste hasn't changed, even in the middle of such a life-changing situation. What does Celeste have to do for her father to show her affection? At this point, maybe die. And even then, probably he will not care, so yeah. Just, I feel like, might be a lost cause. If I had any hope that he would be proud of me now that I had suddenly advanced to a great position in the hierarchy of the Empire, it evaporates now. I decide not to say anything to Father, where Elijah is around. I don't want him to witness a fight between us, and I doubt I can hold my tongue right now. May I sit beside you? Sure. Elijah approaches and sits beside me on the bed. I need to touch you to make sure you're healthy. Is that alright? At least he's asking. Is that how light magic works? As someone who reincarnated here from Earth, I have little knowledge about magic. I don't remember a scene like this one with a high priest in the book. Come to think of it, Levi didn't faint after touching the golden bow. He must have a much stronger resistance to pain than I do. Well, if he's a knight, you would expect that. Celeste doesn't know much about magic either. She has no magical powers of her own after all. Nobody in the Dequeris family does. Always ask for consent before doing light magic. Consent is good. Consent is life. If Elijah says he has to touch me for his magic to work, well, I doubt he's lying. Yeah, would be quite untoward for a priest to be lying, I guess. I look at him. He stares back at me with a patient smile. The high priest is really attractive. I never thought I would find a guy with pink hair dashing, but he must have the longest lashes I've ever seen on a man. I blush, realizing I'm checking Elijah out. He's a priest, for heaven's sake. But you don't know if priests are supposed to not have any romantic... I mean, he was... he had a crush on... What's the name of the other dude? I already forgot. I've been reading his name 50 times, but I still don't remember. Eurydice just reminded me that he can only marry within the clergy. Ah! But if you're a Saintess, though, doesn't that mean you're kind of part of the clergy? Levi, thank you, it was Levi. My god, I'm really bad with names. He's off limits. Besides, he only wants to touch me to make sure I'm okay. She's already... Why, are you... horny much? Stupid hormones. Yeah, but she's 21. I don't know. The girls of that age typically... I think, you're at that age where you're very interested. Yeah. I clear my throat, though I can do nothing to stop my cheeks from burning. It's been such a long time since I was 21, so I don't remember. Plus, even back then, I was probably not really acting like anyone else of my age. Alright, go ahead. Elijah surprises me by leaning his forehead against mine. Before I can protest, an aura of weight surrounds his body. He's really working his magic on me. I think this is... Wait, is this an innuendo? I close my eyes and focus on how his magic makes me feel. His touch is pleasant and warm. I become strangely comforted. Before I realize what I'm doing, I lean in closer towards him. Elijah's chuckle makes me snap out of the comforting embrace of his magic.
Light magic does have a good feel, doesn't it?
Is it? It double and tender? There's a twinkle in his eye and a confident smirk on his face. A smirk on the face of a priest. Alright, I see. A not very typical priest, are you? Is he flirting with me? I don't know, maybe it's your hormones. Embarrassed, I pull away. Lady Celeste is healthy. I can also confirm that the golden bow's magic has entered her body. She's the Saintess. Father lets out a heavy sigh. I hope you won't embarrass me. Oh, shut the fuck up. I glare at him, pursing my lips. I want to call him out on his unkind behavior, but I stop myself. I turn back to Elijah instead. Thank you for the checkup. You're welcome. Only 2 hours remain now until Celeste has to attend the audience of the Empress. He's only after the Holy Spirit inside. That's a funny one. Well, as far as I understand, at least, unless there is another innuendo I'm missing, I don't know. Yes, we should go and let Sister prepare for seeing the Empress. I want to keep talking with Elijah. If anyone can explain to me more about the Golden Bow's magic, it's him. Unfortunately, now is not the right time. Father rings the bell. A moment later, Linda appears in the doorway. Makes Celeste presentable for meeting the Empress and Emperor consort. Yes, my lord. So it's the Empress that has the power. Everyone says their goodbyes to me, and they leave me alone with my maid. It's the Empress that is the the main ruler. I follow a step behind father. We walk through the corridors of the palace to the throne room where the Empress and the Emperor consort are waiting for us. As I watch father's back, I feel Celeste's resentment for him resurface. No, resentment isn't a strong enough term to describe her feelings. Celeste hates her father. Yeah, well, you know how it is. There's only one step between hate and love. And if you can't receive love, it's just normal, yeah. It would twist into hate. Not without reason, either. What he's done to her over the years is something I can only describe as pure abuse. He's belated her constantly, both in public and in private. His favorite title for her is No Good Daughter. He has always made her feel like she's less than Eurydice, unworthy of his praise. The only time he ever pulls his attention away from Eurydice is when Celeste misbehaves. You know, I think verbal abuse is not considered abuse enough, so I'm happy is not an adequate way to phrase things in this context, but yeah, I'm glad that such things are acknowledged as being actually bad and toxic without the need for, like, even without him necessarily hitting her or what, that's still abuse. Celeste's mother died when the two girls were young. Celeste has no memory of her and no one to shield her from her father's wrath. Maybe that situation is why Celeste is always out hunting or horseback riding, taking herself far away from father and her duties as a noble lady. And Levi, he has watched Celeste suffer at father's hand. I have a memory of him standing up for his love and father having him flogged for it. Oh, poor boy. After that event, Celeste forbade her knight to ever act in her defense again in front of her father. Yeah, because probably that adds guilt to her, and that adds to the resentment she could feel towards the poor boy. Damn. Levi protested, but Celeste insisted, using her authority as his noble lady to make him agree. In the years that followed, they both suffered, Celeste from her father's abuse, and Levi watching his love in pain. How could I not hate Celeste's father for his disgusting behavior? A pang of loneliness shoots through my heart. My parents never abused me, but I wasn't from a picture-perfect family either. There was a lot of fighting between mom and dad before they finally divorced. I was 14 when they parted ways, and I had a lot of trouble accepting that the situation wasn't my fault. I tried to help them fix their broken relationship before the divorce, but they didn't believe their marriage was worth saving. Eventually, everything fell apart, regardless of my efforts. Ever since then, I've had trouble trusting anybody enough to fall in love. I had a boyfriend in high school, but he broke up with me because I was too cold and emotionless towards him. His exact words. At the time, I just didn't know how to show love, or if I should even be open about my deep feeling for him at that early stage of our relationship. Both Celeste and Celine have their own baggage. Still, I was finding it very hard not to talk back to father whenever he was rude to me. Celeste had long since given up on their relationship and simply chose to ignore his outbursts, but letting someone belittle me wasn't my style. I realized father has stopped walking when I almost bumped into him, stopping just in time to avoid the collision. High Priest Elijah. Hello again, Saintess, Conte queries. Elijah nods at us with a soft smile. He looks me up and down. I fidget, uncomfortable with the attention. I'm not sure if he's checking me out or if he's just interested in a fancy dress Linda helped me change into. It is a beautiful dress, after all. Then his eyes wander to Levi, and he looks at him with the same appreciation. Huh. Well, yeah, I guess that shouldn't surprise me. I know for sure Elijah is into men. After all, he was interested in Levi in the book. I decided to join you during the audience. We're happy to have you. Are you ready to enter? I'm not, but then again, I'm not sure if I ever will be. Father nods in response to Elijah's words before I can protest. Let's enter. So, is she considered an adult now in this world, or...? The guards in front of the throne room in trance open the door, and Father and Elijah enter the hall. I turn to Levi. Now more than ever, I need the support of someone who I know cares for me, even though he doesn't really care for me, but the original Celeste. Levi won't be allowed to say anything during the audience, but I still want him present at my side. Come in with me. You'll only be able to stay by the door, but I want you to be there for this conversation. Alright. I enter the throne room as well now, Levi following behind me. The Empress is sitting on her throne, and the Emperor Consort is lounging in the smaller chair next to her. Empress Mirelle is as radiant in person as she is in Celeste's memories. Wearing a golden gown, she is the son of the Lucari Empire. Her husband, Emperor Consort Lucius, comes from our allied country, Durandal. He's called the Moon of the Lucari Empire. Familiar appellations in Asian written novels, I believe. Looking at him makes me Asian written. I mean when the writer is Asian in origin, I believe. You'll see those kind of appellations. Or is it just a Korean? I don't know. Whatever. Well, I mean, it's possible that it could be kind of the same elsewhere. Looking at him makes me remember that the Lucari Empire's allied country of Durandal is a sovereign land, and thus its people have darker complexions. I come from the States, so finally seeing someone of color feels familiar and comforting. Huh, is that so? It reminds me of the fact that the novel was quite diverse for a book written by a Korean web novelist. Even though there aren't too many characters of color in Saint of a Golden Bough, the book introduces them in some important positions. Noah, the main love interest, is mixed race. When the Empress sees us approach, she gives us a bright smile. She looks wicked. She looks like a wicked mother-in-law. Which I guess, if the prince is a love interest, she could be, yeah. At last, the prophesied Saintess stands before me in the flesh. I smile and make my best attempt at curtsy, following Celeste's memory. The wince on Father's face tells me I failed to move properly. For some reason, I find his expression funny. I cover my mouth so that nobody sees the smirk on my face. If I embarrass Father in front of the Empress, I can say it wouldn't be enjoyable. Father and Elijah make smooth bows. Thank you for the chance to have an audience with you, Your Grace. Ah, so they say Your Grace? I see Your Grace usually used for like dukes. But it's not like I know much about how to address royalty, and probably it changes depending on the country, the kingdom, the empire. Grace to be in your presence again, O radiant lady. Of course, how could I not gaze upon the chosen heroine with my own eyes? The Empire has been awaiting her for over 20 years. Though I'm surprised your daughter is the one who turned out to be the Saintess, Count Alaric. A nervous chuckle escapes Father's lips. She's always been good with a bow. So I've heard. Your daughter doesn't act much like a noble lady, does she? She does have a reputation for enjoying quite boyish activities. Father's face turns bit red. He's embarrassed because of me. I realize I shouldn't let myself be too happy about the situation, though. There's too much at stake. I can't ignore the fact that as the Saintess, I have an important role to uphold in the Lucari Empire. As Eurydice explained to me, I'm the fourth most important person in the hierarchy now. No pressure. Well, I mean, when you're important, you don't care about those who are below you. You don't have to please them. It seems the Empress finds me lacking as well, and having her, out of all people, displeased with me is not good. I remember Noah's plotline from the novel. The Empress sends him on the quest with Levi to defeat the Demon Queen, even though Noah is the heir to the throne. Also, he should be, since he's Empress Muriel's firstborn. However, the monarch is a very controlling person. She doesn't want to give up the power of her throne to anybody, so she hopes to continue ruling through her child once she abdicates. Due to the law of the Lucari Empire, a person can only rule for 40 years before they have to pass on the role to another. Ah! The Empress is aging, but based on what I know from the novel, her hunger for power over the years has only grown. She wants to keep her influence over the politics of the empire. However, Noah, her heir, isn't someone who can be easily controlled. The Empress has a secret second son, however, 10-year-old Matteo, whom she's raising to be completely obedient and reliant on her own opinions. Makes me wonder how she hid her pregnancy. Maybe she wasn't the one who gave birth to him. I mean, there's magic. Maybe she transferred the baby into someone else's womb. She only sends Noah on the mission because she hopes he will die so she can establish Matteo as her new heir. She can't pronounce someone else the crown prince until Noah is gone. Someone as ruthless as the Empress is definitely not a good enemy to have. So she is wicked. It's known that Count de Queris has two daughters, the one who's a perfect image of a noble lady, and the one who's a tomboy. I suppose the girl that stands before us, although dressed in finery, is not much of a proper noble. Silence falls in the room. Everyone looks at me, expecting me to answer. Under the sudden attention, my mouth is dry, and I can find my words. We don't know much about Celeste, but rumors precede her. They have already judged her, me. Why did I think I would suddenly gain respect by becoming the Saintess, when Celeste's questionable reputation has been spreading for years? In a sense, it's good that everyone expects Celeste to be quite lousy at etiquette. After all, I have no idea how to curtsy, or properly use the utensils, or dance like a graceful noble lady. Since Celeste's skills didn't directly transfer to me, if she really had been a perfect lady, I would have suddenly looked like an imposter. Still, I don't want the Empress to think I'm worthless as a Saintess too. If she deems me inadequate like Father does, will she try to get rid of me so the Golden Bow can choose another saint? I don't think she has a very forgiving personality, judging by how much she hates her own son. The sun is coming, I'm sure. Just when I gather my words to speak, the door to the throne room bursts open. A well-posed, tall blonde man enters the room in a dramatic fashion, his cloak waving behind him in the sudden draft of air. He is Noah, Levi's love interest in the book. Isn't the Emperor Consort gonna raise any objections to the hidden love child of the Empress? Does he really have no influence whatsoever? He's one of the most handsome guys I've ever seen, next to Levi and Elijah. His skin is darker than most Lucari Empire nobles, but only slightly. He inherited most of his features from the Empress. The current Emperor Consort is not Noah's father. But the previous consort was also from our allied country Durandal in the south. When he spots me, A smirk appears on his face. Yeah. He might have inherited the personality from his mother too. His red eyes shine with mischief.
Knock, knock. Did I miss anything?
Fashionably late as always, my son.
I just know I'm gonna love you. Not.
If I missed nothing, there was nothing to miss. This is the Saintess, right? Count Decoris's tomboy daughter.
I hold back a groan. Even Noah knows about Celeste's reputation.
Yes, that's me.
You're good at archery, are you not? Better than you are at etiquette, at the very least.
Minus 100 charm. The second one was he sounds so pompous. Nope.
Yes, I'm quite good with the bow.
Probably not as good as Celeste, though, I presume, judging by her renowned reputation. At least I'm still good enough to shoot arrows with decent accuracy. I just need to practice a bit more and remember everything I learned in middle school.
Quite. Then you'll be perfect for the role of the Saintess.
I don't know, but the voice makes me think of what's the name of the prince in Shrek?
How can you say that? If a lacking individual takes up such a high role in the hierarchy of the Empire...
Oh, so I need to make the Empress's voice much more pompous too. Okay. I made her kind of more tempestuous, I guess. But okay.
All the Saintess needs to do is shoot the golden bow and hit the Demon Queen straight in the heart. Then the war will finally be over.
Not difficult at all. Straight in the heart, huh?
Is that not what you want, Mother?
I want peace more than anything else.
That's a lie. With the army of fighting at the war front, the Empress feels more secure in her rule here in the capital. Do you question God's will, Empress? It is the Lord who has chosen Lady Celeste to be the Saintess of Golden Bow. While Celeste may be lacking in some of her areas, she asserts she's great at archery, and her reputation confirms her words. Right, Mother. So you shouldn't worry. Lady Dequaris will make an excellent Saintess. I wish I could share the faith these two have in me. Still, I have to maintain a confident front, so I put on my brightest smile. Please don't worry about anything, Your Grace. I'll defeat the Demon Queen and bring peace to the Empire. Empress Mirelle gives me a long look. After a moment, the confident smirk that Noah inherited from her is back on her face. Excellent! Then there's nothing stopping us from proceeding with the mission to defeat the Demon Queen, is there? Noah, you will be the one leading the Saintess's quest. Noah's eyes widen. He opens his mouth, then closes it. But you will lead the Saintess's quest, and you will take the 20 best men from the palace guard, the Mage's Tower, and the church to accompany you. And you will leave in a month. In a month? So soon? Shock makes my heart beat erratic. With my current archery skills, I'm nowhere near ready to defeat a powerful enemy so soon. Is there a problem? You said you're great at using the bow, and that's all you need to be a successful Saintess, right? The Empress has really turned the tables on me. I can't deny her words, and neither. When is it pronounced neither, and when is it pronounced neither? Neither can Noah. After all, we are the ones who just made those claims to her. I simply thought we'd have more time to prepare. There is no more time, not with the Demon Queen's army closing in more and more on the capital in recent years. I think you and the Saintess are ready enough. But do you question the Empress's judgment? The Emperor and Noah glare at each other. Noah doesn't respond. He finally just turns around and walks toward the door. Noah, you will prepare for the quest and depart in a month. As you wish, Your Grace. If it's not too much to ask, I want to accompany the Saintess and the Prince on their quest. Elijah's request surprises me for a moment, until I remember that he wanted to join the mission when Levi was a saint as well. Are you sure, High Priest? You will be leaving your office behind for 2 months. Yes, I'm sure. I'll take Gareth with me as well. Meredith can manage running the office on her own. I'll appoint some people to help her with the paperwork. The Saintess's quest will be a historic moment in the life of the Lucari Empire. I wouldn't want to miss witnessing the Saintess defeat the Demon Queen. He has strange tastes, but with Elijah's light magic our success will be easier. I don't protest. We'll need all the help we can get. Alright, you may go as well. Thank you, Your Grace. I will organize a ball to celebrate the finding of the Saintess tomorrow evening. Be sure to attend, all of you. Attend. We all reply we'll be there, and after some final departing words, we're dismissed. After the audience, I ask everyone to give me some time alone. I'm too overwhelmed by the recent events. I need some time to think. I take a sheet of paper and a quill, and I begin to scribble down my thoughts. Why do they like to write so much in these stories? I survived my death event, the demon attack in the woods near the Dequer's mansion. That's why Levi is likely to continue to love Celeste and not become interested in anybody else. No, I can't assume anything. I really should ask him what he thinks about Noah and Elijah. He saw both of them during the audience, and he saw Elijah flirting with me during the magical checkup. I'm not really the Celeste Levi loves. I have her memories and a portion of her skills, but I'm basically Celine in Celeste's body. I'm not just Celeste recollecting a past life. Instead, I, Celine, have taken over Celeste's body at a pivotal moment of her current life. Does that mean Celeste is really dead? I don't sense her presence living in my body, which is a relief, truth be told. I prefer being alone with my thoughts. The idea of her passing is sad though, even if I'm conflicted about her treatment of Levi. I'm now the Saintess of a Golden Bow, a hero the whole Lucari Empire has been awaiting for years. Yet, Levi was supposed to take on that role. Levi has been training to protect Celeste all his life. He's way more skilled at archery than I am. I have a month to train myself to use a bow properly. Not just any bow though, the golden bow, which seems more ornamental than practical. Wielding that weapon will be a pain in the ass. What were the 2 components needed to defeat the Demon Queen again? The first one is firing an arrow imbued with a golden bow's light magic at the Demon Queen's heart and actually hitting the target. So I'll need to practice both archery and accessing the bow's magic. As someone who comes from Earth, I have no idea how to wield magic. The very concept of magical power coursing through my body is foreign to me. I suppose training with a bow will just take time, though I have little to spare. As for wielding its magic, that's something Elijah will know more about, given that he's a light magic user. I scribbled down that I need to talk to Elijah about the golden bow and its magic. Well, I guess she's making a to-do list, but yeah, helps. Helps organize your thoughts. Now thy enemy, they say. And right now, my enemy, until I master it, is that bow. There is also a second component to defeating the Demon Queen, one that follows a story trope more than practical logic. Noah and Levi's love makes the magic of a golden bow stronger. How is that possible? I have no idea. Could Noah and Levi being in love even solve this problem anymore? No, it has to be the wielder of a bow that's in love for the magic to trigger properly, right? So, I'll have to break up the couple that I shipped. It's a sad situation, but my survival is on the line. Unless I go for Elijah, that is. But he can have a relationship with anybody outside of a church, which is another complication. First, I'd need to determine if Elijah and Noah are even interested in women. If they're not, any relationship with me would be impossible. As for me, I can't imagine falling in love with someone in 2 months. I mean, when love is concerned, you know. Usually it's like, oh, love triumphs all. If you really love someone, does it really matter their gender? I don't know. I mean, you have preferences, but yeah. Love is such a difficult topic for me. I don't trust or fall in love easily. The whole situation with my parents' divorce made falling in love not something I can easily imagine happening to me. Oh, I'm so screwed. I'm scared. The situation isn't just a story in a book anymore, it's my reality. Levi, Elijah, Noah, Eurydice, Father, the Empress, they're all real people. They aren't acting according to script either, I don't know. The plot of the book has changed. It's a real world now with unpredictable consequences. And I'm at the center of this new story. 2 months was enough as a teenager to fall in love? Yeah, no, I mean, you really don't need that much time to actually fall in love. It's maintaining the love that's a lot of work, but falling in love, that's easy. There was that. I remember there was something like a number of questions. I don't remember exactly anymore how many questions it was, but it was a bit, but like a few tens of questions. And supposedly, if you looked at the other party in the eyes while answering those questions, by the end you were supposed to fall in love. I mean, yeah, I can't believe that could be possible, because falling in love is just like it's just like a combination of interest, attractiveness, a certain sense of a bond, a link, chemistry. That's not that hard. Falling in love is not hard at all. Levi dies at the end of the book, despite defeating the Demon Queen, despite Noah's love for him. Will I die again too? Or will that aspect of the story change as well? No, I can't give up. I must change reality and my fate. It's not like me to mope around and feel defeated. I'm the master of my own destiny. I mean, come on. At this point, everything has already changed. Why would that still be there? Nothing. If there is one conclusion you can take from everything, is that the story is not written in stone. If I have to fall in love with someone, who should it be? Levi, who blindly adores his lady. Noah, who has been burdened with leading the mission to defeat the Demon Queen. Elijah, who is a priest and can't marry someone unless they're part of a church. Or should I pick someone else entirely? I at least have to admit that all three of them are handsome men. I just hope my own baggage isn't going to drag me down too much. Will I become cold and detached if I enter into a relationship with any of them? Just like I did with my ex-boyfriend? It's been a while since high school, but I'm still hung up about how things turned out between us. Can someone like me even make a guy fall in love with her within a month? My heart is beating so quickly. Now that I realize what's really at stake and what I have to do, I'm terrified. Should I ask Levi what he thinks about Elijah and Noah? What? What he thinks about Elijah and Noah. Yeah, for sure. Ask. It's best I make things clear between us. I need to talk to Levi about Noah and Elijah. I mean, because I'm the practical kind, it seems to me that the easiest option would be to fall in love with Levi. Because the prince seems to be a pompous ass, and he has the queen. Do you really want to go in that kind of worms? And as you say, the high priest is not supposed to be in a relationship with anyone outside of the clergy. So yeah, seems to me like Levi is the easiest answer. I open the door to my room and look outside. Levi is standing there, guarding the door. He looks at me with a gentle smile and gives me a small nod. Levi, could you step into my room for a moment? I want to talk to you. Of course. I take a step to the side, letting Levi enter the room. My heart is beating quickly, and I clench my hand on my dress. Levi seems to notice my unease, his expression turning into one of concern. Celeste. I push my fear aside and decide to just outright ask him. Say, Levi, what do you think about Prince Noah? The Mad Prince? The Mad Prince! Look at that! Yeah, no. Yeah, that's what everyone calls him, right? He's known to always antagonize the Empress with his words and attitude, but he's never done anything that could be considered a crime against the crown. The Empress delegated part of her responsibilities for maintaining the order in the palace to Prince Noah, as per the Lokari Empire laws on succession. He needs to learn how to manage the empire as the heir. And from what I have heard, he's doing a good job and is very dedicated to his work. Is he now? So, despite the fact that he's not very diplomatic with his words, I think he'll make a good emperor in the future. I see, that wasn't what I was asking though. I wanted to know what you think about Noah personally. Are you sure I'm allowed to voice my opinion on the future emperor? I look around and gesture to the room. It's just you and I here. I suppose that's right. I'm not going to tell on you. Yes, I know that. Oh, look at him blushing like a maiden in love. Well, I think Noah is too brash in the way he speaks. I really didn't like his attitude towards you during the audience. That's still not what I wanted to know. Then you should ask outward. Did you find him attractive? Ah, there it is. Thank you. Do you think Noah is attractive? Many people do. He's had a few past relationships here and there, though he avoids casual flings. That still doesn't answer my question. I think Prince Noah is attractive. Look at him blushing. He's the maiden here. And now that you hold the position of a Saintess, he would make a great match for you. Does Noah look like women? He's had 2 female and 2 male partners in the past. They are very progressive. They are very progressive in here. Very, the most, how do you call that? Sexually progressive? I don't know. Bingo. I just got all the information I needed about Noah from Levi. I suppose you becoming the future empress wouldn't be bad for you. Levi has a pained expression on his face, like a kicked puppy. Imagining me with Noah must be difficult for him. What about High Priest Elijah? What about him? Do you also find him attractive? You're not trying to set me up with someone again, are you? Oops, I got Levi angry. From Celeste's memories, I know we've had conversations similar to this one in the past. I don't know what the right answer to his question is. There is none. If I say I'm asking for myself, he'll be sad that I'm looking at guys other than him. If I refuse to answer, he'll continue thinking I'm trying to pair him with one of the guys. That's not what I was asking. I just wanted to know your opinion. I'm not buying it. Why the High Priest and Prince Noah, out of all people? They're of such different standing than I am in a way. I couldn't possibly be in a relationship with either of them, I don't know. A difference in social standing hadn't stopped Levi from falling in love with Celeste. Or from falling in love with Noah in the book, for the matter. Though I did remember him being hung up on status differences in the novel as well. Yes, both are attractive guys. I could see myself being with either of them if our situations were different, but He gives me another pained look. He's in love with me, is what he's trying to say, but he can't allow himself to tell me the truth. At least, Levi gave me the information about Noah that I wanted to know. I don't want the conversation between Levi and me to get any more difficult, so I suppose I'll end things here. Thanks for talking to me about this, Levi. I like to be alone now. Levi gives me a look, as if I'm throwing him off after dealing him a blow. After dealing him a blow. In a way, I am, and it pains me to do so. But I don't know how to salvage this conversation. Have a good rest. Levi exits the room, closing the door behind him gently. I lie down in bed and hide my face against a pillow. I'm so stressed by everything that I'm not even surprised when tears stream down my cheeks, soaking the bedding. I didn't want to hurt Levi, but I didn't know how else to obtain the information I needed, so I could decide what to do to save everyone. For the first time since reincarnating, I give in to all the emotions that have built up inside of me. I'm just one young girl. How can I carry so many heavy burdens? Eventually, I cry myself to sleep. I toss and turn all night though, unable to get any real rest until nearly dawn. The next evening, Linda gets me all dolled up for the grand ball the Empress is throwing in my name. At the ball, I find myself sitting at the table, staring at silverware I have no idea how to properly use. Celeste's memories aren't helping me much. The servant puts a salad in front of me. I'm hungry. I'm hungry! But I need to still read. And I pick up one of the forks. There's an offended gasp from my left. I look at the noble lady sitting next to me. She's almost purple in the face, staring down at the fork I'm holding. Wrong piece of cutlery, then. I put it down and take another in my hand. I steal a sideways glance at the noble lady. She doesn't seem to be offended anymore. I mean, in those kind of situations, you usually go from the farthest from the most outside piece of cutlery, and then you work your way towards the plate, isn't it? Ah, I'm hungry. This one must be the right fork then. When everyone starts eating, I dig into the salad too, but it tastes like paper to me. Oh no, where's the vinaigrette? I'm nervous. My hands are clammy.
So you've become the Saintess, Lady d'Aquarius.
No, I got manners. No, I just saw that somewhere at some point. Just sounded. It just sounded logical to me, so it stuck in my mind. The man to my right. Oh, there's a duke. There's the duke. That's probably a love interest too. I mean, everything is very classic. The man to my right, Duke George, if Celeste's memory serves me correctly, strikes up a conversation with me. Does he look too old, though? I mean, a little bit of an age gap to spice things up. I don't know, apparently he's young. He's a young duke and a powerful player on the battlefield of Lucaria Empire's politics. I'll have to do my best not to say or do anything strange.
Yes, despite my surprise, the Golden Bow has chosen me.
Well, now that you carry such an important role, do you plan to improve your knowledge of etiquette?
He points at my salad. Oh, come on, what am I doing wrong this time? The Duke smiles, but his expression isn't unkind. I mean, if there's a CG like that, yeah, he's a love interest.
You have no idea what you're doing wrong, do you?
I don't.
May I?
At least he's asking. Consent! He extends his hand to me and well, in this case it would be more like permission. It ends with the same thing, but yeah. He extends his hand to me. And when I don't protest, he touches my hand gently to modify the way I'm holding the fork.
Oh, come on, George. You're spoiling the fun.
The lady to my left has a cruel smile on her face. Why is she seated with people she doesn't know? Shoot, I really was eating the salad wrong after all. My cheeks heat up from embarrassment, and suddenly I find it hard to breathe. For every kind person like Duke George, there's a cruel one like that lady here, a vulture just waiting for me to make a mistake. Now that I'm the Saintess, I will be watched even more closely than Celeste was as a mere count's daughter. They are all going to be laughing for weeks about the way I ate the stupid salad. I just know it. I know what I'm gonna say is like, it's not that easy, but like, really, should you care? I mean, I don't know, yeah. Celeste's memory tells me that this incident won't be the first time she's ruined her reputation with a stupid mistake giver. Excuse me, I can't be here anymore. I have to get some fresh air, or else I will hyperventilate. Are you okay? Duke George calls after me, but I walk quickly to the terrace. Once I'm away from the throne room, I run into the gardens. I stop only when I reach a small lake. Here, I put my arms around my frame, trying to control my breathing. Breathe, Celine. In and out. In and out. Don't cry, don't cry. You'll ruin the makeup Linda spent hours putting on you to make you look like a real noble lady. But wait. If social standing is a problem, I mean, the Duke is not... A Duke is higher than a Count, for sure. But at least he would be less of a... Like, politically, he might be in a less precarious position than the Crown Prince, maybe? And at least he didn't seem to be too much of a pompous ass. So he has that going for him. I don't know who it is, so I don't know how to voice this. Didn't think I would run into you here. I turn around when I hear the voice. It's Noah. So it was... Didn't think I would run into you here. How was his voice again? The pompous ass. The CG with the pompous ass? Because we had one with Levi. We had one with Elijah. We had one with the Duke. Yeah. He's gonna touch her in some kind of way because everyone was touching her. I already forgot how his voice sounded. Didn't think I would run into you here. It's Noah. He's drawn his sword, and his usual mocking demeanor is not present. He's completely serious when he suddenly puts his sword against my throat. My heart beats so loudly that it feels like it could jump out of my chest. Where is the bow? This time from fear. Does Noah want to kill me?
I wish I could just kill you and be done with it.
He answered your question. He does. But why? Suddenly I remember the scene. I fangirled over it when I was reading the novel. This is the scene where Noah puts his sword to Levi's throat. It's overly dramatic, and most of the readers of the novel interpret it as a romantic interaction. Nothing more romantic than having your romantic interest point his sword at you. We talked about the event for hours on the web novels forums. But now, I think this setup is just ridiculous. I could take a step back at any time from the coldness of steel, and my neck would be safe, but he would be able to pursue you, I mean. I give Noah a long stare. He's looking at me seriously, as if he's really pondering if he should harm me. I don't believe he actually will. A bit too aggressive yandere? Nah, not yandere. He does not have the balls for that. I will entertain his antics for a while longer, just to see what he has to say to me. Yandere has a distinct aura to them. He's just a pompous ass. I want to know how much the scene changes with me here instead of Levi.
Why do you want me dead?
I don't know, but that sounded so freaking funny to me.
Because you're the reason I have to go on the mission to kill the Demon Queen. And so soon. If anybody less capable than you had been chosen as the Saintess, Mother wouldn't have told us to leave within a mere month.
I'm glad he thinks so highly of my archery skills, especially considering how little the nobles think of my etiquette skills. But he's wrong.
I may not be as great at archery as you think.
That fact would change nothing at this point.
Yeah.
Mother is now convinced you can defeat the Fiend.
Or at least that she can send him with you without any repercussions, you know?
This is a suicide mission. None of us will come back from the quest.
Even though I remember this line from the book, my eyes widen.
How do you know we won't return?
His words almost feel oddly like foreshadowing for what happens in the book. No one seems to seriously believe what he's saying.
20 people going deep into demon-ravaged lands to enter the Demon Queen's castle and kill her. What could possibly go wrong?
Why 20 people, though? Either you make it a stealth mission, or you go in with an army. No, but probably it's better as a stealth mission. So 20 people is not a good idea. That's not stealthy. And by the way, that's good acting. That's great. That's good voice acting right there. He's really convinced we're going to die on this quest. I can see the desperation in his eyes.
Can't you convince your mother to postpone the day we leave, or to increase the amount of people we can bring with us?
No, I think that's a bad idea to increase the amount of people. It should be a stealth mission.
I've already tried. She doesn't want to listen. It's almost if she wants to set us up for failure.
Oh no, you're closer to the truth than you think. I can tell him anything about his mother's plan to get rid of him. He would just grow suspicious if I, someone he barely knows, spotted such important information about his life. For royalty, gotta have people to carry their stuff. Ah, yeah, you're right. You're right. I should only tell him what's really going on with the Empress when or if we become friends during the quest.
Look, I'm afraid of the mission too. But I don't want to give up. I won't just roll over and die. I'll keep fighting until the very end. No matter how the mission ends, I want to be sure I've done everything I can to fulfill my role properly.
Noah's eyes widen.
You're right. I can't just give up.
So, he was not touching her. It was his sword that did. Okay. I must also see the... wait. I must also see the mission through until the end. I almost thought of telling you to kill me. No! I'm sure you'll do great on the quest. I don't know, but I only have that or that, so yeah. I'm sure you'll do great on the quest. I hear you're a great fighter. Rumor has it you're difficult to talk to and don't have very good social skills. All I see here is a composed young woman who can compliment others. You're a mystery, Saintess. I must be careful about what I say to others. I don't want to break my character as Celeste too much. One thing's for sure, I don't want to die. No, I don't want you to die, Your Grace. Just Noah is fine. We're teammates now, I suppose. I like the sound of that. Noah smiles back. He seems much more relaxed now. I'll continue trying to get Marvel to delay the deadline for us to leave. I would appreciate more time to train. Right. Time to go back to the ball then. Without sparing me another glance, Noah walks past me towards the terrace. I watch him until he disappears between the carefully trimmed bushes of a palace garden. But wait, isn't the terrace some... or am I thinking of a balcony? I thought a terrace was something on an upper floor. I look out at the water of the lake and take a few deep breaths. I really hadn't expected Levi's scene with Noah to play out for me. I also didn't end up responding the way Levi would have done. Our encounter didn't turn romantic at all. Yet my heart is beating quickly, regardless, because I'm still scared about so many things. The stress is catching up to me. I fall to my knees on the soft grass. I can't hold back my tears any longer. In the end, I'm just a girl, caught up in so many responsibilities. I'm tired. I'm terrified. I want it all to stop. A level paved area next to a building. A patio. I must be thinking of the word in French. Is it patio in English? Or patio is how it's pronounced in French. Pronunciation. Patio. Okay. Patio. 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 I must be thinking of a word in French, because in French it's something on an upper level, on an upper floor. It's like an extension on an upper floor. Extension. Like there is no floor below, but it's an extension of the floor it's on. Maybe it's the way I could explain it. No matter how much I cry, though, this new reality won't magically change for me. Yeah, but crying would evacuate some of the stress. I'm still Celeste, and I'm still the Saintess. The sooner I accept my fate and put my energy into the few things I can still change, the better. At least she has a good enough head on her shoulders. That's nice. Plus, she's like 21. 21 is... yeah. With renewed purpose, I get up and start walking back to my room. Screw the ball. I'm not going back there only to be ridiculed further. I don't want the whole Imperial Court to continue watching how terrible I am at being a noble lady. If I had more time before the quest, I would take lessons to get better at it. However, with the way the situation has unfolded, I'll have to focus only on improving my archery and horseback riding skills. Besides, the future of the Empire doesn't depend on me knowing which fork to use for a salad, but it certainly does hang on me using the golden bow properly. I'm walking down the corridor towards the apartment where my family is staying when I hear someone running behind me. Celeste! Levi calls me by my first name, like he always does when it's just him and Celeste. It's something the two of them agreed to do when they were younger. Levi stops before me and looks me up and down. Where have you been? I didn't notice when you left the throne room. You're not supposed to go anywhere without me. Father's orders, I know. I just forgot. I realize I haven't been thinking about how Levi would feel if I suddenly disappeared yet again. I'm not concerned about failing to follow his orders. I'm genuinely worried about you. He blushes and looks away. My heartbeat quickens. Why though? Celeste has no romantic feelings towards Levi. But do I? I mean, you find him attractive, don't you? At the very least, you found him handsome. Hormones will do that. Hormones will be like, oh, looks like a promising specimen. Let's reproduce. I must admit, he's very handsome and kind, and he's my favorite character from the book. Am I that much of a simp? Maybe you are. I let out a long sigh. Levi looks back at me with a worried expression. Then he looks me up and down again. You are right, are you not? He focuses on my face and frowns. You've been crying. He must notice my smudged makeup. I mean, What's the point of lying? I was, but I feel better now. What made you cry? What do you think? When I see the sincere worry on Levi's face, I want to tell him the truth. I'm just overwhelmed by suddenly becoming the Saintess, by having to carry the burden of saving the whole empire. I look down, tears welling up in my eyes again. Celeste. I look back up to see Levi staring at me with love and adoration. It hurts being on the receiving end of such feelings, knowing that they aren't really for me. No matter what happens, know that I'll always stay by your side. But yeah, since he does love the original Celeste, it might not count as actual real love for the purpose of power-upping the bow. I'm sorry to drag you into this quest with me. He would have been caught up in this mess anyway if he were the saint, but now he's coming along anyway as Celeste's knight. What if Levi dies protecting me? My heart feels heavy. I must do my best to get as strong as possible. Don't say that. I swore to always protect you, did I not? Back when I became your knight, remember? I recall Celeste's memory of that time. They were both 14 back then. Oh! And Levi took a knee in front of her and swore he would protect her until death did them part. He made his vow with such sincerity and fervor. Yet, I'm not the one whom he swore to always stay beside. That person was Celeste, so he should be free of the oath, since Celeste is kind of dead. I can tell him the truth though. On the spur of a moment, I gestured towards Levi. Lean down, please. You're too tall. Too tall for what? Levi gives me a puzzled look, but complies with my request. I press up on my toes and kiss him on the cheek, not as Celeste but as Celine, because I genuinely feel grateful to him and don't know how else to express myself right now.
Celeste?
Levi blushes a deep red and gets flustered. You're the kind of character people love to bully, you know. Only when I lean back and smile at him do I realize I shouldn't be doing something so intimate to a man who loves the woman who once inhabited this body. I might be sending him the wrong message, especially after our earlier conversation.
I'm sorry. I just...
Don't be sorry.
He's on cloud 9 right now.
I just wanted to express my gratitude.
I let out a sigh.
You always do your very best to protect me. Thank you, Levi.
You're welcome, but it's my job to take care of you.
I know you're not doing it just because it's your job.
That sounded very flirty. Levi gives me a startled look. I turn around and start walking towards my room before he can reply. Let's go, Levi. We need to rest. Training starts tomorrow. Woo! I'm feeling tired already, guys. It's been 2 hours of reading non-stop. What actually happened to Celeste just gone forever? That's not always explained in isekais. As in, it's just part of a premise usually, so it's just sometimes it is a central part of a plot, sometimes it does have some bearing into the plot, sometimes it's just never discussed. If we consider that they swapped bodies, then, and if the original Celine's body died, then I guess she died. The Celeste died. I don't know. The next day, I begin training with a golden bow on the palace training grounds. Guys, I'm hungry. I want to eat a snack. Maybe Freaky Friday, then she splattered across the road. What? What is Freaky Friday? Much as I expected, due to its elaborate design, the bow proves difficult to use. It looks like she can hold it fine though. She can carry it fine though. I sent arrow after arrow flying at targets, but I only hit once out of every 10 times. Not only are my bow skills rusty, but the weapon isn't cooperating either. It's a movie where people change bodies. Ah, okay. Finally, too frustrated to continue, I give up. I'll try again tomorrow. I make my way to my room with Levi following behind me. I don't know who is talking. This is a suicide mission. We're not going to come back to Solace alive. Please, Noah, don't say such a okay. Oops. This is a suicide mission. We're not going to come back to Solace alive. Please, Noah, don't say such things in public. What if someone hears you? At the end of the corridor, 2 people stand to the side talking. The one who said something about a suicide mission is Noah. After a conversation in the garden the other day, his words don't shock me. What does surprise me, though, is that he's openly talking about his feelings with someone else. I hide behind a pillar and take a peek at the other person. The dark-skinned knight with her hair in buns must be Tariq, Noah's right hand and the leader of the palace guards. She's wearing armor with a Lokari Empire royal insignia on her chest, characteristic of the guards. The leader of the mission should believe in the quest's success. You can't be heard doubting our ability to defeat the Demon Queen. It's just... I have a really bad feeling about Marva's request, Tariq. Why is she pushing us to go on to the Demon Queen's castle so soon? Why can't we wait a few months until everyone feels ready and has practiced fighting as a team? We can't go against the Empress's orders, you know that. So it's... But she still is required to step down after 40 years. She said her reason for the rush is that the demon army keeps getting closer and closer to the capital. Yet the Finns are at least 3 weeks' journey away from Solace on horseback, and they haven't made any significant movements toward us in at least a decade. We've got time. The Empress seems to have a different opinion on the matter. I just don't trust her. Noah, watch what you say. What if... Suddenly she turns around and unsheaths her sword. Who's there? She's noticed me. Step out and reveal yourself. Just running away in a situation like that is just making things worse. I step out from behind the pillar, revealing myself. Oh, if it isn't the Saintess. Welcome. Hello. How much of a conversation did you overhear? I told you, Your Grace, you should be more careful. I'm sorry for eavesdropping. I was just curious. The excuse is a sad one, but it's the truth. I mean, they were where you could hear them, though. Is that eavesdropping? Noah takes a step closer to me. Oh, you were curious about me? No. I arch my eyebrows, unsure of what he means. I didn't say... He leans in closer to me, his face level with mine. He has his signature smirk on his face. I didn't know you were interested in me, Celeste. I finally understand what he's suggesting. He's flirting with me. That's not what I meant. I'm very pleased to win your attention. If you want to know more about me, how about we get together for tea? He really is hitting on me. He really is hitting on me. I feel embarrassed, unsure of how to respond. I'm not... Would tomorrow afternoon be okay for you? Well, This dude does not have any... all the other ones asked first. But he's here he put his sword on her neck, and now he's like, oh, tomorrow we're going to have tea. Not that he's letting me get a word in edgewise anyway. Anger rises in my heart. I'm not interested in you. I take a few steps back, putting distance between us again. Noah chuckles. I let out a frustrated huff. I don't appreciate you flirting with me. Is that what I'm doing? You clearly are. The other day, he wanted to kill me, and today, he's playing with me. What a frustrating guy. I'm leaving. I mean, he probably did it. Maybe he did it out of a defensive mechanism. I rush towards my rooms, my footsteps heavy. I feel furious at Noah for clearly making fun of me. Levi follows behind me like my shadow. I spent the next few days training with a golden bow. I increased my accuracy rate, but I'm still struggling to wield the weapon. The priest is your favorite so far, but this crop of boys hasn't been too great. Yeah, definitely not. I personally am very indifferent to each of them. Like, nobody is grabbing my attention whatsoever. In the afternoon, Elijah approaches me. How's the training going? Should I be honest with him? I hesitate, but I know he'll need his help to access the bow's magic. Honestly, the training is not going great. I feel like the bow is fighting me for control. The bow is supposed to be semi-sentient. It may very well be that it hasn't yet fully accepted you. Hasn't fully accepted me? What should I do to make the artifact approve of me? Unfortunately, I don't know. Training will continue to be a struggle, won't it? I wanted to ask you something ever since I was chosen as the Saintess. You're the High Priest, so you know a lot about holy magic, is that right? As much as a human possibly can. I'm the strongest light magic user in the Empire. Ah, that's right, I remember that part from the book. Everyone thought Elijah would become the saint, but on his 18th birthday, he didn't get chosen. The previous High Priest abdicated at that time and passed on the role to Elijah. That's how Elijah came to have such a high position at such a young age. Ah, so he's a prodigy. The novel also said Elijah's light magic is abnormally strong. Could you teach me about light magic? Sure, but you have no magic of your own. You know that, right? I nod. Celeste was never a magic user, and that fact didn't change when I took over her body. But I have to defeat the Demon Queen with the Golden Bow's magic, right? So, is there a way for me to access it? Ah, yes. Artifacts like the Golden Bow do carry their own magic. You don't have to have a magical affinity of your own to use their power. Although, already being trained in wielded magic would help you understand more easily how the bow's magic is used. Still, I can at least explain the basics to you, and then, with practice, I'm sure you'll catch on. Ah, what if I don't understand what he tries to teach me? Will we be doomed to fail then? I swallow hard. I'm afraid I'll be a magical failure. No, gloomy thoughts won't help make anything better. I need to focus on what Elijah can teach me and do my best to understand the Golden Bow's power. Please teach me what you know about using an artifact's holy magic. Sure. Elijah moves behind me, touching the hand I'm using to aim the Golden Bow. Close your eyes. I will pour some of my light magic into you so that you can understand how magic flows through the human body. To access the Golden Bow's magic, you have to pull some of that magic towards you and let it enter your body. Be open to it. Don't struggle against the power. I close my eyes like Elijah commands. I feel his grip on my hand growing firmer. He's standing behind me, his chest pressed against my back so I can feel the heat of his body touching mine. The contact is quite intimate and makes my cheeks flush with embarrassment. She's very aware of all of those boys. So. Then I feel Elijah's magic enter my body. It's a gentle stream, not as strong as when he examined me for injuries a few days ago. Still, I can feel the magic coursing through my veins. I don't know, maybe you should focus on the flow first. Elijah told me to focus on the flow of magic, so I don't let myself succumb to the pleasant feeling of closeness. I focus on the power coursing through my veins instead. Do you feel how the magic is moving through you? Yes, I do. Elijah lets go of me and steps away, taking the comforting presence of his magic with him. I'm almost saddened, suddenly feeling as if I've lost something important. I shake off a strange emotion. You gotta become a junkie of light magic. You must convince the golden bow to let you access its magic. Then, pull the power towards yourself and let it flow through your body. Only by doing so will you be able to aim that magic with your arrow and strike the demon queen when the time comes. I use my staff as a way to store more magic. Even though I have magic of my own within my body, I can only use more powerful spells with a staff's help. Just like what you must do with a bow. I draw the magic of my staff into my body so I can release the power as bolts of light. The human body is a conduit for an artifact's magic. I'm not trying my best to comprehend what Elijah's explaining. I'll try it out. Great. Let me know if you have any more questions. I have to return to my office. You can find me there whenever you need me. After Elijah leaves, I return to practicing archery. I try to pull the bow's magic towards me, like he instructed. But I can't replicate what the High Priest did. Even so, I keep trying. There's too much at stake for me to give up so easily. Okay, that's enough for today. I can't overdo it or else I won't have the strength to train tomorrow. I do a few stretches, grab my bow, and make my way back to my room. She's rather reasonable. I like that. So many times the MCs in otome games, or at least the ones I played, are made stupid just for plot convenience. As in, clearly they aren't supposed to be stupid. But the writers can't write, so yeah. Oh! In the palace corridor, I run into someone I hadn't expected to meet again. Is it the Duke this time? It's been a while since we met the Duke again. Ah! It is! I am so good at predicting these things. Greetings, Lady Celeste. George nods at me, putting a hand over his heart. I make my best attempt at a curtsy. Your Grace? George looks me up and down. His eyes show concern. Are you doing okay? Yes, I am. You ran off from the ball the other night and never returned. Ah. It's true that I embarrassed myself by running away from George and Penelope. Ah, so you knew it was Penelope, her name, in the middle of a conversation. I was about to have an anxiety attack, so I needed to get away, but after I met Noah in the gardens and cried my eyes out, I was too tired to rejoin the party. I didn't want to be amongst people anymore anyway, especially nobles who were just waiting for me to make a blunder. I've been worried for you. Now that was unexpected. Why would George worry about me? We barely know each other. I mean, you're the Saintess who's supposed to save the kingdom. Maybe that just means he is reasonably worried about his own safety. But yeah, future safety, future peace. I've really been okay. I get the feeling he doesn't buy my words. Yeah, I mean, yeah. By all accounts, you're a young girl of 18 who's like good at wielding the bow supposedly and riding horses, but there's like a huge responsibility resting on your shoulders now. An 18 years old girl is not gonna cope easily with that. Walk with me in the gardens? I suppose it wouldn't hurt to get to know one of the most important people in the Lokari Empire better. Okay. We walk for a while in silence until we reach the less frequented part of the gardens. Those don't look like they are very well behind the you see the Ah, the bushes behind. Like they're well maintained. They look very rough. I've been meaning to ask you about something, but the dining table during a ball didn't seem like the right place. Could you tell me more about the demon that attacked you? Yes, of course. It was an imp, if I recognized it correctly. It was a small flying creature with a scorpion's tail, long horns, and sharp claws. Yes, that's right. It had reddish gray skin and red wings with some symbols tattooed on them. He also looks so tired of you already. I think he might be just tired in general. Look at his eyes. They come in various colors. Do they? Yes, imps are plenty at the war front. They have a cruel nature, seeking to plague with the victims rather than outright kill them like other monstrosities. Though they're relatively easy to kill with magic or arrows, if one can keep up with their swift movements, they know how to... Though they are relatively easy to kill with magic or arrows, if one can keep up with their swift movements, they know how to dodge attacks well. Demons are more intelligent than humans give them credit for. You know a lot about demons. I'm not sure how much you know about me. I used to be the general of the Lokari Empire's army, and I fought on the war front for years. How old are you, sir? The general? Yes, the highest ranking officer in the field. But aren't you very young to hold such an important position? 17 and a half. George chuckles. I'm momentarily stunned when I see his beautiful, carefree smile. She's such a simp. You want to judge? But I mean, she was chosen by a holy artifact. You weren't. Unless it was nepotism, it's probably out of... you were made general probably out of actual competence. Celeste just turned 18 this year. I was 3 years older when I died. Yeah, that's not that much. We might as well be of the same age. Yeah, you're right. I'm 26. He's been a general and fighting on the front for years. He's 26. Oh, then you're not that much older than me. Yeah, not that much older. You think 8 years is not much? Not much. In this world where there are bigger age gaps between couples in arranged marriages... Wait, why am I thinking about George as a love interest? He isn't asking me this question for me to consider him romantically. It's funny how one subcont involves half years when mentioning one's age after a certain point. Yeah. No, but it makes sense, because the older you get, the more a year becomes a smaller unit in your lifespan. Like, when you're still at 15, there's not that much time that has passed yet, so yeah, you would still count that. But after a while, yeah, no, you just stop. It's kind of pointless. It depends on why you're asking. I suppose you're right. It's just that I feel older than my age. The years I spent on the battlefield took a toll on me. 40 is the max lifespan of this folk. Her father is probably about to kill over then. Could you tell me more about the war? I mean, but wait, the emperor is supposed to like stay in power for 40 years before abdicating. The emperor is probably the most long-lived in this place. And sure, what do you like to know? The war has been going on for a few decades now. A few decades! A couple! 23 years! That's not a few? I feel like a few implies more than a couple. few meaning. A small number of. Ah. Yeah, no, but I feel like saying a few decades is still saying there's a ton. Is it really impossible to win without the saint? We've encountered the Demon Queen herself on numerous occasions, but we couldn't kill her with weapons or magic. Even light magic wielded by powerful priests couldn't breach her defenses. She has a dark aura shield around her that deflects all incoming attacks. Nothing has been able to get through so far. And she keeps the demon army very well organized. They obey her commands, even at the cost of their lives. Why does everyone have to be so young? That's the kind of thing that adds to this whole you're a failure in life if you haven't accomplished big stuff when you're like 20. Even the stories are like, at 20 you live an adventure and you become the hero of something. Like there's a side of you want to make kids dream, but there's another where it's like, why though? It's like they're incapable of putting older people in their stories. It's kind of ridiculous at some point. As a 30-something, I find it kind of offensive. Where are my people? Where are my 30-somethings? No wonder some industries consider you're good for nothing once you reach 30. Since demons value their own lives so little, they fight viciously and to the death. They're a difficult opponent to face. You've really seen the Demon Queen? Yes, oh, she can change her form. One moment she's a beautiful woman, the next she's a horrifying monstrosity. Well, if that imp is any indication of monstrosity, she's probably still very comely to look at. I see. After making a circle around the gardens, we return to the corridor. I'll have to make my way back to the palace now. Duty calls. Why did you talk to her? Oh, I'm sorry for taking up so much of your time. No, I wanted to talk to you. I need a break sometimes too. Oh, a break. I see. If you ever have more questions about the war or the Demon Queen, don't hesitate to ask me whenever we have the opportunity to talk. So you're no longer the general on the front lines? I'd love to learn more about your role as the general too. Really? It's nice of you to be interested in me. I may or may not answer you though, depending on the question. George clearly has his secrets, and I don't feel like I can pressure him for answers. He's already shared some useful information with me today anyway. Okay, thank you for talking to me. It was a pleasure. I think at least if I really had to choose, maybe him. Maybe because he's closer to my age. But still so freaking young. You really get no sense of personality from this guy, really? I like that he seems much more, what's it called? I like the fact that he seems more steady. Because the other ones are like drama queens. Well, I don't like chaos, so maybe it's just that. Like, I wouldn't like someone who's boring, but he does not give me that impression. I just feel like he's steady. That's nice. And Lady Celeste, I know you carry a heavy burden now, having the responsibility of a Saintess on your shoulders, but don't be so hard on yourself. You're trying your best. Thank you. We say our goodbyes and part ways. I found George very intimidating at first. That's the 8 years of difference. Considering his high position in the noble society, but he's actually a kind man, isn't he? As I return to my room, I'm again faced with an unexpected encounter. Celeste, fancy running into you again. Oh god, the pompous ass. I fear I can't say the same, Your Grace. And here I was waiting for the opportunity to apologize to you. Yeah, my ass. Apologize? Quite unexpected of me, isn't it? Well, I'm glad you finally changed your mind about teasing me, Your Grace. About teasing you? You mean the way I'm keeping you on your toes? We both know that's quite entertaining for both of us. No, it's not for me. No way! But no, I wanted to say sorry about the other day in the garden. I was overly dramatic. Aren't you always? You could say that. Still, we can certainly agree that putting a sword to your throat is on another level than our usual conversations, or even the way I act towards Mother. This one is a drama queen for sure. Levi is too much of a wimp. I'm sorry to say, but yeah, it's not my kind of flavor. If anything, I feel like the priest is the one I have no sense of whatsoever, anything to it. Like, okay, yeah. If anything, he is the most blank one to me. I guess he's supposed to be a sassy priest. I don't know, but no, he's not sassy, so I don't know. Yeah, if anything, I find him the most boring. We have very, very different tastes, but yeah, takes that to make a world. Should I give you some privacy? No, you don't have to, Tarek. I don't think I properly introduced you to Celeste. She's the head of the palace guards, isn't she? That's not what I meant. Tarek is also like a mother to me. She's been my personal guard since I was little, before I promoted her to be my right hand, the person who keeps order in the palace on my behalf. She is a very important person to me, my link to my Durandal legacy. It always warms my heart when you speak so highly of me. How could I not? You've always supported me, even when I had nobody to rely on. Your father, the late Emperor Consort, died when he was young, right? Since the Empress didn't have a good relationship with Noah, he had no other person he could call family. Him being very flirty while being a priest is literally the only interesting bit to you. Yeah, that was his only interesting part. Literally, because like, otherwise he's very... He's there, I guess. It's not surprising that he came to treat Tarek, his personal guard, as family. I already knew that much from the book, but seeing Noah admit of his love for Tarek still warms my heart. There's more to Noah than just annoyingly flirting with me, that's for sure. I hope so! Yes, my father died when I was 6. I can't say I even remember his face that well. If not for the family portraits, I would have already forgotten the way he looked. Because every day when I stare in the mirror, I only see my mother's features. Her face, her hair color, the way we smile, they're all the same. The only thing I inherited from my father is the color of my eyes and my slightly darker complexion. Noah glances at Tarek. Sometimes I wish I could have more proof of my sovereign legacy than just skin that looks tanned and an eye color unusual for Volcari. Tarek's expression turns sad. She looks at Noah with both love and pity in her eyes. I too feel what Noah said deeply. Of course, he wants to know more about his father's side of the family, about his roots. It's not easy to be a person of mixed race, especially without family who can teach you about your culture. Yeah, I feel like it probably would be difficult because you never quite feel part of each side, especially if the people around you aren't being very inclusive. Well, I wouldn't know because I'm not of mixed race tip technically. Though Malagasy people would be like at the origin. And like ancestors are like it's a very mixed race at base. But yeah, but because it became its own thing, it's not. It's its own thing. So I can't say that I would understand exactly how a child of mixed race would feel. But I'm trying to project if I was in such a situation. I feel like that's the kind of thing you could encounter. I'm glad Tarek was there for you, Chris. So am I. That's why, Celeste, I may sometimes be overly dramatic, flamboyant even. It's the way I deal with the world. However, this is funny, or like... Well, I'm telling you how I feel, Celeste. I am telling, not showing, but whatever. But that doesn't mean I'm not sincere when I apologize to you. I really am sorry for the other day. I didn't mean to scare you. You meant to kill her, though, or at least had a fleeting feeling about that. It's okay, I'm not that mad about it anymore. But you are still a little angry? A little. Very well. I can accept that. I often find that anger is a great source of motivation to drive one forward. I hope you will use that energy well. Just don't go overboard with being mad at me. I wouldn't want your anger to turn into resentment. Alright. Noah and Tarek escort me to my family's apartment, where we say our goodbyes. The more I learn about Noah, the more I realize how human he is. He's a multifaceted individual, not just a character in a story, but a real person. I mean, that's nice, but literally we exchanged like what? We talked like twice? Thrice? Yeah, I mean, then again, does it really take that much to start to see, oh, okay, there's more to this person than that, but... But the way she says it is like, oh, the biggest revelation ever. I don't know. We're all real people. I mustn't forget that fact. Is your training going well? In the evening, Eurydice comes by my room. I'm happy to have her company. Eurydice has always been a ray of sunshine in Celeste's life. I'm glad the two of them have such a good relationship. I feel like an imposter by pretending to be Celeste in front of her twin sister. We're seeing more sides to him and they're all that? Oh no, come on, not all. Not all. But yeah, he's at best to me he's like the annoying friend. Come on, you're a bit too harsh. Not all is bad. I guess he has a tragic backstory. and he's kind to his guard, which is who is a person of lower rank. So he's not that much of a pompous ass. Hey, Kisaska, welcome. Thanks for dropping by. She hasn't figured out I'm someone else yet, though, so I'll continue acting for as long as I can. The Among Us was a while ago, though. I feel like it's something that's already burnt out. How is that still what you think about at this point? She hasn't figured out I'm someone else yet, though, so I'll continue acting for as long as I can. Not really. I let out a long sigh and tell Eurydice about my training. I don't understand what the High Priest means about accessing the Golden Bowl's magic. Every time I try to think about the artifact letting me share in some godly power, nothing happens. It's frustrating. Elijah showed me how it can feel to receive a magic, but I can't reproduce the result. I have no affinity for magic. I don't understand what to do. Don't pressure yourself so much. It's only been a few hours since you even found out how light magic is used. Eh? It's only been a few hours? Eh? A few days, you mean? No? Huh? You're right. I should be more patient. I'm just annoyed because the golden bow is so clunky in its design that aiming is hard as well. I glare at the offending object, which rests next to my bed. Time is compressed. It's like the golden bow is actively resisting me. I don't think that's possible. Elijah said the golden bow is semi-sentient. Well, it did have a will to choose its saint. I always thought choosing was all it could do, though, except for killing the demon queen and acting as a normal weapon. The golden bow is a mystery, that's for sure. I let out a long sigh. You should take some time off to relax. I can't, not when I know I have so little time to train. You're not going to be any good at learning how to wield the bow if you just train constantly. The human body and mind have to take breaks from time to time. I know what we should do. Lady Penelope is organizing a tea party in the royal gardens in 3 days. What, that bitch? Who is Lady Penelope? But you see... But you... Oi! But when she talked to the Duke, she said the Duke and George and Penelope, and everything is said on her from her POV. So you know who Lady Penelope is. The Duchess of Ventis. The Duchess of Ventis. I looked through Celeste's memories, but come up with no information about the Duchess or Ventis. I have no idea whom you're talking about. You sat next to her during the last ball. that must be an oversight of the writer. I feel myself going pale, then red. Duchess Penelope was the one who wanted me to embarrass myself further during dinner. That's not a good idea. I don't want to go to a tea party. No, definitely not. Like, sister, do you know anything about your sister? The Duchy of Ventis is known for its lavender fields and beautiful gardens. They also make the best honey in the Empire. Now that you're a Saintess, the Duchess invited us to her tea party. Many other important people will be there too. All the more reason why I shouldn't go. Please, Lady Laetitia asked me to convince you to come. Duchess Laetitia is a friend of Eurydice. Her family, I know. They own vast fields, and the people working for them produce the majority of grain in the Empire. Laetitia is kind and compassionate. She took Eurydice into her entourage 2 years ago, elevating Eurydice's status in society. Celeste feels indebted to the Duchess. But I don't. I have no desire to go to Lady Penelope's tea party and further embarrass myself. It's useless. It's pointless. Lady Laetitia said that now that you have such a high standing in society, you should take part in the politics of the Empire more often, Celeste. You're going on the quest now, but once you return home, you will still be the Saintess. You have the chance to be very influential if you use your opportunities correctly. I mean, yeah, that makes sense, but are you really asking an 18-year-old girl who has no sense of etiquette, nothing whatsoever, no quality of a noble lady to do that? Aren't you being a bit cruel? Nothing bad will happen with myself and Lady Laetitia around. Please, Celeste. When Eurydice begs me like this, I find her pleas hard to refuse. I don't want to go, but she has a point. I am planning to survive a mission. That fact means I'll have a future life beyond just fighting against the Demon Queen. I will return to the palace, and then I'll have to hone my etiquette skills. I don't want to end up an important player in the politics of the Empire, but I also don't want to become an embarrassment to both myself and my sister. Alright, I'll go. With a heavy heart, I agreed to Eurydice's request. Really? she was not believing. Yes, really. Don't ask me again or I might change my mind. Eurydice grabs my hands and jumps up and down, squealing. Now you're the one not acting like a noble lady. Oh, come on, don't pretend like you care about acting prim and proper now. Thank you, Celeste. I have a bad feeling about the tea party. Now that I've agreed to go, to go through, I'll have to keep my word and do so no matter what. Ah, I'm tired. It's been 3 hours. Hey, Sebo, welcome. Thanks for dropping by. It's been 3 hours. I feel tired. I feel so tired. That's what happens when you talk non-stop. Ugh. How much longer is this gonna be? Supposedly it was 4 hours of content, but I don't know if I have the strength to go through with that anymore. This might have been a bit too early. This might have been a bit too early. I don't know. Yeah, the pace is. I feel like the pace is very slow though. I wonder how long the game is gonna last, because this game is still in development. I think it just started its Kickstarter, I believe. So I don't know when it's gonna release, but I feel tired. Probably another couple of hours left. Oh no. I can't anymore, guys. I can't anymore. I don't have a couple of hours in me. I don't have a couple of hours in me. Saintess of the Golden Bow. I don't have a couple of hours in me, guys. I'm sorry to say, I don't have a couple of hours in me. But I mean, 3 hours was already quite a lot, no? Wasn't it? Oh, it has been funded in 5 days. Oh, well, there was a lot of interest on it. That's nice. That's nice. Good for you. Good for you, game. We don't know when it's supposed to release, so it's still to be announced. To be announced. Wow. I believe we've probably seen all the love interests, because it does not make sense for a love interest to appear this late anymore, because you'd have to have a bit of time to like interact with them, so you can make a choice. Usually that's how it goes anyway. But yeah. We can say no, but we don't return to a game after in the Wednesday discovery. So, I mean, yeah, we can save, but I mean to say that I will not be streaming. But usually I do not plan on streaming the continuation. I don't know if I'd like to. I'd like to still continue this, but I mean, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's for now the pace is very slow to me. I at this point, it's been 3 hours. At this point, I'm still undecided. As in, I like the fact that the MC seems rather reasonable. She seems to have a good enough head on her shoulders, which is nice. None of the love interests are interested in me. But such are things that, you know, different flavors out there, and not all of them are meant for me. So, but yeah, but 3 hours. I hope that was enough for you guys to like see a bit of it. And now, if you wish to see more, you can still play the demo. It's available on Steam. But I think I'm just gonna stop here for today. I'm tired. I don't remember. I know. Like, yeah, Nova can sometimes do 5-hour streams, but not always. Not always, guys. No. No, that was quite something. I feel. A couple of minutes or a couple of hours. I mean, a couple of hours is technically no, not technically a couple of minutes, because if we take it a couple does not mean the amount a couple of hours would represent the amount of minutes a couple of hours would represent. I believe. You got the taste of it? Yeah, okay. You know what? I'm gonna put the link to the Steam store page in the description, so you can check it out. Since I think, well, I don't have any immediate plans on continuing this on stream. Because, as I said, the Wednesday discoveries usually aren't meant for us to like have a series. But of course, it does not mean that there cannot be a series from a Wednesday discovery down the line. But for now, for now, I do not plan necessarily on continuing this on stream, but we'll see. I can't. Right now, it feels like I will not be continuing it, but I can always change my mind down the line. Who knows? Who knows? I might feel in a few months. Hey, let's continue this thing, and we might go back to it. But not for Wednesday. As a second part of a Wednesday discovery. Whatever. Semantics doesn't matter. But yeah. MC has some self-awareness. Everything else has been pretty standard. Yeah, no, it's standard, but it's okay to sometimes to be standard. You know, as in, you're not supposed to reinvent the wheel every time. Especially at this point in time, I feel like trying to reinvent the wheel usually leads to worse results. So yeah, I think it's fine. I wish them the best. Hope the game releases smoothly. It seems they were able to fund it very quickly. So yeah, I hope their game will really will release smoothly down the line. But that was but that was a fun little 3 hours we spent. That was a fun little 3 hours we spent. Buy the full game for Nova when it comes out. If someone was to offer me an otome game when it releases, I would ask for another one. Not this one. No offense, but I have others we discovered on Wednesday Discovery higher on my priority list. But I felt it was a fine discovery today. Today was a nice Wednesday Discovery session, I believe. So yeah. Need the harem route to be available. I'm not even sure about that in this one. Cause none of them really hit the spot for me, so. But so I'm here like, no. But yeah, let's stop here for today, guys. Thank you so much for dropping by. Tomorrow we are going to continue Middle of Shadow of Mordor, and actually, I'm hoping for something. Well, we'll see how it goes. But I was able to, well, not I, actually. Well, but not just I was able to make to acquire something that I hope will open up some more doors for us for the streams to come. But you will see it tomorrow, maybe, or maybe you won't. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah. I'm not going to say more. Friday is freestyle Friday. I don't know what we're gonna do. But we'll do something for sure. Unless something happens to me and I cannot stream again. But yeah, for now, thank you guys so much for dropping by. I am glad you had a great time. Do take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.